Hello, my fellow humans, and welcome back to Scatter Love Tarot. It's your girl coming at you with another pick a card reading. First, I would love to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of this journey with me. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time and this space with you. And if you happen to be new here, welcome. This is a reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic selves. We do things completely differently here on this channel. So with that being said, if the message does resonate, it would mean the world to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you are looking to support the channel further, you'll find everything you need in the description box below. So with that, today I am doing something a little bit differently. This has been sitting on my heart for like the last 2 days. There was no question. This is your pick a card reading. So whatever you pick, whichever card you feel drawn to, we're leaving it open to source to give you whatever it is that you need to hear. Okay, so that's how this card reading is set up. It came to me in meditation and it's been on my heart. And so here we are, bringing it out, and I felt really called to using the Sacred Rebels Oracle deck by Alana Fairchild. Such a beautiful deck, and definitely fitting for this, right? Finding our inner rebels. So we're gonna see what comes through. Let's get to your prayer, and we will go ahead and get your reading underway. My beloved source, this prayer is for anyone and everyone that comes onto this reading, whether it's for a moment's time or for the entire time. Maybe we asked for guidance. Maybe we asked for peace. Maybe we asked for balance and resolution. All I know is that we've asked for something, whatever it is. And the question of whether or not it's going to level out for us and come true leaves us questioning, leaves us wondering, leaves us sometimes in a state of panic and worry. Even though we know this is not the place that you wanted us to be at, even though we understand that you are ensuring that things are taken care of in the spiritual realm, the realm through which we might feel but cannot see physically with our eyes. And sometimes trusting becomes near impossible, because who have we had to trust on this journey? People have done us wrong. They have bruised us and broken us. They have hurt us and created suffering in our lives. And we may have received that or been a part of that or created our own chaos in our own lives. And taking accountability for that feels uncomfortable, because it's easier to put it on others rather than to see the part we may have played. All of that has added up to this feeling of not being able to truly, truly trust, even in ourselves. We're doubting ourselves because, well, I was a part in this journey too. I don't trust myself to pick the right people. I don't trust myself to make the right decision. I don't trust myself for whatever reason. So today I ask that you wrap us in your supportive blue light of truth. May the white golden waterfall flow through our crown chakras, down our chakra system, out our feet, grounding us in a reality where we can trust. We can trust ourselves, and we can trust you, and we need not trust anything else. Because these two things will always lead us to what is right for us. Not always what we want, but it will always be exactly what we need. As these words are spoken upon this tribe and this collective, so shall they be. Amen. Aho. Ase. Thank you, thank you, thank you, my beloved source. Thank you. All right. So we're going to go ahead and move this somewhere. Roll up my sleeves. We're digging in, okay, guys? Here we go. All right, we're going to shuffle your pick a card reading. So what's going to come through for your pick a card reading? What do you need to know? Source, what would you like to share with my fellow humans today? Your pick a card reading. Source, what would you like to bring through today? What Sacred Rebel Oracle will help us better understand this message today? For my fellow humans, your pick a card reading. Thank you. What Sacred Rebel Oracle card will help us better understand the message today, Source? All right. Pile number 1, your pick a card reading. Source, what Sacred Rebel Oracle card is going to help us better understand this message you have for pile number 1? What is the message you have for pile number 1? Pile number 1, your pick a card reading. What Sacred Rebels Oracle card is going to help us better understand your pick a card reading? Thank you, Source. All right, pile number 2, your pick a card reading. What Sacred Rebels Oracle card is going to help us better understand your pick a card reading? Source, what messages would you like to bring through for pile number 2? Your pick a card reading, pile number 2. What Sacred Rebels Oracle card is going to help us better understand your pick a card reading? Okay, I feel like that one. Thank you, Source. All right, pile number 3. Your pick a card reading. What Sacred Rebels Oracle card is going to help us better understand your pick a card reading? Source, what messages do you have for pile number 3? Pile number 3, your pick a card reading. Thank you, Source. Thank you. All right, collective energy. After the storm, the number 1 card. How fitting. You know, and it's even interesting because the prayer, like how the prayer led me to this energy of us asking for something, but still being worried and concerned about what was going to come in. And after the storm talks about it, like oftentimes we have to walk through this storm, this chaos, this disruption in our lives in order for us to find peace, balance, and calm resolution, solutions to situations that have maybe unraveled in our lives or have created a lot of tension within our journey. And the fact that we have the owl here is the messenger from the spirit realm, the messenger from our passed on loved ones as well. With the full moon behind the owl, we're talking about the emotional state of where we are and letting this come to a completion, letting ourselves let it boil up so that we can go through it. We can feel it. We can feel what we feel. We can experience what we're feeling. Not because it's dangerous and not because it's good or bad, but because when we feel it, when we're able to see it for what it is, we can put it to rest. You know, this morning I chose to do a yin yoga practice. And yin yoga sometimes, like I love yin yoga, but sometimes it's difficult. It's more difficult than vinyasa because you have to sit with yourself. And I recognized I was struggling sitting with myself. And I meditated after yoga, which I don't usually do. And so I disrupted my routine, but I had a purpose to it. And in disrupting my routine when I was sitting from yin yoga into meditation, I realized I was super impatient. And right away I was like, no, I'm not impatient. I'm not, but it came through so strongly. You're being impatient. And I was like, no. And I was trying to push it away. And then finally I opened myself up to it. And I was like, I am impatient today. I realized that. I realized I'm trying to rush things. I'm trying to push through things. I'm trying to, control the outcome of things right now. And giving it a label from myself, even though I was hearing the guidance from my spirit messengers, right? Like giving it a label myself, being able to identify what it was. I was able to sit with it. Now, I was not able to sit with my full meditation like I wanted to, which was in silence, but it taught me a valuable lesson that no matter how long you're on this journey, there's always going to be something that arises. There are going to be moments that you crush, that you totally move on from, and you're like, wow, I did so good, and I made such a difference, and I was so productive, and I made an impact, and wow, this was so amazing. And there are going to be other moments when you're like, I thought I was over this. I thought that I was done with this. I thought that I didn't have to deal with this anymore. But that's the journey. The ups and downs still will ensue on our journey. But what matters is that we find balance within. And balance doesn't have to be sitting in stillness every day. Sometimes it's impossible for us to sit in stillness because we've got so much going on. But what can we do to find a second of mindfulness? Is that washing the dishes, folding the laundry, cleaning the house? Is that doing certain things, helping the kids with homework? Is that helping out your spouse, helping out your partner, your friends? Is that doing something for yourself as self-care, like taking a bath or listening to some music? It doesn't always have to be sitting in silence. Although silence can be incredibly powerful, it can also be super uncomfortable in those moments when it feels like our lives are crushing us. And we still have to find different types of modalities to grasp onto in order for us to continue our journey forward through the storm. After the storm comes the rainbow, the promise that you've made it through. Although maybe with some bumps and bruises, and you've weathered the storm and you've gathered thicker skin because of it, you made it through. And when we see that for ourselves, we recognize just how powerful and immensely amazing we are to have been able to survive something that at some point on our journey made us feel like we would never be right again. So let's see what After the Storm says in the book and see what else comes through here. After the storm, there's a thunderstorm about. It is either headed your way or just passing through now. Don't make a thunderstorm mean more than what it is, though. You don't have to fear it. You might even feel excited about it. After all, a thunderstorm is just nature's way of gathering energy together that needs to be released. With the release of tension, relief, and freedom soon follow, often with a fresh perspective and perhaps the gift of a promising, hopeful vision for your future. Perhaps the particular storm building within you or around you is causing you to quake in your boots. There's a snake in my boots. I don't know why I'm hearing that right now, but it was coming out. So we're just going to go with it. It might be a storm of building emotions, threatening to erupt or already exploding, seemingly beyond your conscious control. You might feel an uncomfortable sense of emotional or psychological pressure within. And if something doesn't happen and soon, you fear that you might burst. You may also sense that these are forces operating beyond your control. And you'd be right. There is in life and in the creative process a need to allow for wild storms. There will be those precious moments of peace beforehand and the release and revitalization that follows, yet the storm in the middle is essential. It is a natural part of the creative process. Without this building and releasing of energy, we would suffer from boredom and stagnancy. You may prefer the excitement of the storm or the fresh, open feeling that accompanies its clearing. You might find it confronting to be faced with the power of something in which you can only participate rather than control. Either way, the storm wisdom offers you the gift of bringing things to a head and clearing them away so that the energy can be freed from a pattern that it has had its day and it's ready to become something new. That's that boiling up energy. Sometimes the pressures that fuel the storms of our lives have been building up for a long time without us being fully aware of it. It might be pressure from our own minds, creating unnecessary burdens upon us, such as burdens of fear or self-doubt. It could be pressure or to appear a certain way or to fight against life out of a mistaken belief that is necessary for survival. Sometimes the pressure is a little more than the impossible dream of perfection and a need to gently, or even with great dramatic flourish, cast that aside so that you can dare to be what you are and create from your heart. Even if you're not sure what the storm is about, don't lose confidence in your ability to successfully bear its progression until you are safely at the other side of the experience. Even amongst the chaos of change and in moments of anxiety, know that you have so much light and trust in your heart that you can see the storm is about a passing process and nothing that you need to worry about. If you can't sense the storm yet, this oracle is a portent for you. The storm is coming, and you can, if you wish, feel the beautiful, exhilarating gift of it, as you are empowered to cast aside what has been and receive the gift of a fresh, new take on things. Your confidence is to remain intact. Whatever is happening or soon will happen in your life, the storm of sorts is transformational and supportive to your growth. It is going to clear away cobwebs and free you, open you to new creative energy and life. Remember, there can be no rainbows without a little rain. So this is also a confirmation that if you've been praying for help, your prayers have been heard, and the great creative intelligence of our universe is responding to you, stepping in and shaking things up so that situations can be sorted out according to a greater wisdom. So let go, hold only to your inner self, and allow everything else to be cleansed in the sacred storm. All right, so there's a cleansing that's happening here, and it may be very uncomfortable, but it is necessary for your growth to step into the next chapter. It's actually a very beautiful energy, even though it might feel a little chaotic. Sometimes we need the chaos in order for us to move on, because it's reminding us that this is not something that we want to continue to ensue in our lives, and that's okay. All right, so make sure we're in frame. For pile number 1, I do have this dice with the 10th house for you to choose from. Or we have this little, I think they're called hamburger seeds or hamburger seeds. Picked it up in Galveston. Okay, pile number 2, we have this dice with the 11th house on it. We have this arrowhead for you to choose from. And pile number 3, we have this dice with the 7th house on it. Or we have this moonstone for you to choose from. So pile 1, pile 2, and pile 3, and whichever pile you feel called to, that should be the pile for you, and I will see you over there. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this dice with the 10th house on it, or if you're drawn to this little hamburger seed, or hamburger seed, I keep calling it the hamburger seed, so we're just gonna go with it. Or if you were drawn to this card during the shuffle, this is going to be your pick a card reading. First, I would like to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of the journey with me. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time and this space with you. And for those of you that happen to be new here, welcome. This is a reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic selves. And we do things completely differently here on this channel. So with that being said, if the message does resonate with you, it means so much to me for you to comment, like, and subscribe. And if you are interested in supporting the channel further, check out the description box. It'll have everything that you need. So this message, I just quickly want to point out that this message is not, I don't have a question. Okay, this is your reading, and we're going to let source come through with whatever source wants to say. So I ask that we all go into this with an open heart and an open mind, and let source bring forth the messages that are going to come through. Okay, so with that being said, let's hop to it and find out source. What messages do you have for pile number 1? What is your pick a card reading, pile 1? What is your pick a card reading? Source, what would you like to come through? Okay, so we've got the 3rd house. Interesting. We've got Capricorn energy and we've got Uranus. There's a lot of doubt that's coming in here with this energy. Wow, if I can pick up my block. Yeah, there's a fear of failure right now, or a fear of messing things up, a fear of not doing what is necessary in order to bring forth success. And that could be anything. I'm going to mention, because we do have 3rd house here, that this could be regarding a labeled connection, but also we have the mind, you know, dealing with siblings, dealing with neighbors, people you grew up with, the peer group from your school, people who've been really close to you for a long time. Also your way of communication and the way you rationalize and the way you approach things logistically is coming out. Okay, so it could be any of those things that we're referring to. I just have to mention that as we're going in. Okay, but there's a real doubt that things are going to work out for what you want them to. Like, I'm desiring it to go one way, and we see there's a lot of rigid energy here, as well as cynical energy. It's like, well, why would it? It hasn't worked out to this point. It hasn't happened up to this point. So what is going to magically change for it to suddenly come in, right? But source showing here with Uranus that miracles are possible. Miracles do happen, and manifestation is nothing short of a miracle. But we've been taught somewhere along the way that miracles are this rare thing that only happen to certain people, when that's not actually true. Miracles happen to all of us. And I'm sure there are moments, if you go back and look at your life, there are things that, even if they might be tiny, there's still little miracles that have happened regularly throughout your life. But it's hard to see that when the cynical energy is coming in, when it's like the critical father is attacking us, right? We're being the critical father to ourselves. Like, you're not good enough, or you're not trying hard enough, or I'm only going to love you if you win your sports, or you get an A, or you're at the top of your class, or whatever the situation may have been growing up. And maybe you didn't receive that from others growing up. Maybe you felt like you had to uphold a higher standard for yourself. But this is what it feels like. You're continuing doing that, and that inner voice is becoming very, very cruel And it's creating a lot of barriers and blockages here, and it's also creating a ton of doubt. But there's something here where I feel like you're going to be connecting with new people, or you're going to be connecting with like-minded people, and they're going to be showing you that there is something that's possible for change here, and to have massive progression in a very short time. Like, it doesn't have to be this really slow process all the time. We take the slow process so we gather our wits about ourselves. We also are building that solid foundation, and once we've set the foundation, the rest of things start to flow smoothly. But if we're always stuck just on the foundation itself, we're trying to perfect the foundation, we're trying to perfect it, rather than recognizing that our hard work is already the perfection of foundation. It's going to be difficult for us to move on from that if we're always trying to adjust here, adjust there, adjust this, adjust that, right? Rather than seeing it's like, this is my routine, this is how I'm showing up. I'm very disciplined, I'm very consistent, I'm very determined to do what I want to do, but I don't have to be perfect. I don't have to make it perfect. I just have to make it, right? Because let me tell you, finished is far more impressive than perfection in anything in life. Because people who get so caught up in the minute details end up spending so much time on something when they could have already moved on and had some sort of recognition, feedback, payback from that original thing that they've been stuck on for so long. And so this is the energy that's coming in. There's a doubt here. It's almost like the doubt is creating a loop where it's like, oh, I have to go back, I have to do this, I have to change this, I have to focus on this, I have to fix this, rather than seeing, I've already put all my energy that I can into this. Now, let me just see what it's going to do. Let me just see what's going to happen. Now, if this has to do with the labeled relationship, this could also be spell work as well, right? So like, you could be doing spells like moon magic or anything along those lines. It could be also, I'm hearing a green witch as well coming in here. And these are very specific messages for someone. But this is about letting it settle and letting it do its thing instead of trying to control it. There's no need to try to control it. It's about letting it unfold the way that it's supposed to. But that means trusting in source and trusting in the divine realm. And I know that can be really difficult, especially if you've never had someone to trust in your life, or you put your trust in others and have only been let down. There's that underlying belief of like, well, what would make source any different? Like, why would source not do that to me? I split the deck. Wow. We have the Ace of Coins and the Ace of Swords coming out as I split the deck, both in the upright. So this is like planting the seed. Could you imagine if you planted a seed and you picked the hamburger seed? This is a seed, right? I don't know what it's for. It could be for seaweed, but I know they're on the beach. They're all over the beach in Galveston, and that's where I got that. And so I'm not exactly sure what it's for. They call it the hamburger seed, though. At least that's what everybody there told me they're called. So I don't know if that's true or not. We're just going to go with it. And there's this energy, though. But can you imagine planting a seed and then every day you dig up that seed to see if it's growing? Is that seed ever going to have a chance to gestate? No, it's not, because you're checking on it. You're digging it up. You're disturbing the environment. Okay, and so what Source is saying is like, plant the seed and let it gestate for a while. Stop trying to disturb the environment, because when we disturb the environment, we're the ones that are causing delay, because we're not trusting that this will unfold and grow the way that it's supposed to. And the way that it's supposed to is not necessarily the way that we imagine it to. And that's something else that we need to let go of. And so I feel like that's what's coming through for you, Pile 1. Your pick a card reading is reminding you to trust in the process while also letting go of it being a certain way or having a direct outcome to what you're imagining. Just have a general idea of what you want, and then trust that Source is going to bring forth the most aligned version of that. Yeah, you've been cheated on in the past. People have put you in some awkward situations. You've had a lot of one-sided love, and there's this energy that's still coming through where there's a lot of mistrust. It's like, I don't trust people. I can't trust people. because people have done me dirty. And Source isn't asking you to trust people right now at all. Source is asking you to trust in Source, to trust in the divine realm. Like, you've been working on your spirituality. You've been working on growing yourself. You've been working on aligning yourself. But if you can't trust in Source, the one being that has our back 100% all the time, has our back and is making sure that we're taking steps to becoming our most aligned self, things that we don't like will arrive, because that's growth. Adversity equals growth, right? And so we have to open up to that and trusting that even if there's situations that we don't like that are arriving, that they're arriving for our benefit. It's happening for us, not to us. But sometimes that's a really hard place to come from when it feels like everything in our lives has been a personal plight, because we must have done something awful or been some awful person at some point, either in this life or a past life, when that's not necessarily true. Unfortunately, this life is full of contrast, which means that no matter how enlightened we become, no matter how positive we are, there is still going to be both sides of the coin. We cannot eradicate one side of the coin because we choose to be the other. Just like that, if you choose to be in a negative energy, you're not going to eradicate the positive side of the coin. But if you choose to be in the positive energy, you're not going to eradicate the negative side of the coin. And that's the misconcept that we as a collective need to step away from, so that we can come back to the truth, which is this realm consists of both light and shadow, because that's the balance of this realm. We're not trying to rid ourselves of the shadow. We're trying to find ways to integrate the shadow so that we can show up in a calm, clear, collected manner and face whatever adversity will eventually find us on our journey. And that's sometimes very difficult. Yep. So we've got the Magician card in the reverse on the bottom here. This is that energy where it's like, I don't know what I want, because I feel like I'm asking for what I want, but I'm not receiving it. And this is having people who have been in your life who have tried to upset your journey, who have tried to make you feel small, who have gone out of their way to make you feel like you didn't matter. And those nefarious actions have created this dissonance within yourself that it's like, almost like you're carrying that as a blanket of shame and feeling like, oh my gosh, I cannot be who I'm meant to be because obviously there's something wrong with me. But when you're carrying that belief, there's something wrong with me, how can Source come in and do the integrative work that's the unknown when we're still fighting that barrier, right? It's like Source coming in like this only to be met with that barrier. I cannot receive the blessings. I cannot receive the wisdom. I cannot receive the guidance because it's constantly hitting that barrier of there's something wrong with me, rather than seeing that life is always going to be lifing no matter what. People are always going to be peopling no matter what. That's it. That's just the way it is. What if instead of trying to find fault or reason with it, all we do is focus on how we can become the strongest, most aligned versions of ourselves so that we can show up with the challenges, with the difficulties, with the adversity in a way that keeps us in a state of peace. We're not looking for fault. We're not looking for reason. We're not looking even for the lesson. Because the lessons arrive from the challenges, not the challenges are here for a lesson. The lesson arrives from the challenge. The lesson didn't exist until we went through the challenge. But it's not the challenge that brought the lesson. The lesson became the solution to the challenge. That's why when we look at it this way and we're reframing it, we're seeing it as a whole. We're seeing it like, oh my gosh, okay, like I would have never learned this if I hadn't have gone through that. It's not, I had to go through this in order to learn this. No, like I'm going to go through life. And life is going to bring me wisdom that I wouldn't have otherwise received. And that's why this doubt is keeping you from receiving something that is very important right now. Is it a lesson? Not necessarily. This is wisdom. This is wisdom that's trying to come in. Yeah. The 9 of Swords in the reverse. Okay. The 6 of Wands. Okay. And we've got the Moon in the reverse. This feels dangerous. This feels dangerous. Right? And the thing is here is there's a lot of red flags that have been brought up. There's something here where there's a lot of no-nos. Oh, no, that's not good. No, that's not good. But almost like a brushing it under the rug. Like, well, I'll just brush this under the rug and you know, I'll just keep going on and whatever and do what I do. But you're not alone. Okay, so like even though this is coming up with the 9 of Swords in the reverse, there's this energy of feeling like I'm overwhelmed and I'm ready to settle. Because at least if I settle, I know what I'm getting. I know what I'm getting, and I don't have to fight anymore, and I can just take a break because Lord knows this journey is not for the weak-hearted at all. And I get it, Pile 1. You're tired. You're exhausted. You want to throw in the towel. I get it. And sometimes, honestly, I'm going to be real, and this is not to be negative in any way, shape, or form. Sometimes we need to throw in the towel for a little while. We just need to put it down. We need to go wash that towel. That towel stinks, okay? We need to go wash it. Maybe instead of drying it in a dryer, hang it out to dry so it can get some fresh air, right? And that's okay. That's okay. What matters is that we eventually come back and we continue on the journey. There's no one here that's going to blame you for taking a break. Because this journey is not for the weak-hearted. It's not. This is stuff that you have to go through because it's life. But life isn't for the weak-hearted. Everybody's trying to find shortcuts. Everybody's trying to find quick fixes and the magic pill to take so that they don't have to work hard. You see it with weight loss. You see it with breakups. You see it with connections. You see it with everything. There's all these things. Let's look at that, right? Let's talk about connections. What's the quick fix for connection? Ghosting. What's a quick fix for weight loss? Now they have, instead of pills, they have the shot, right? What's a quick fix for a job, right? Not showing up anymore, right? What's a quick fix for our spirituality? Just giving up on our routines. Like, thinking about that. It's all giving up. Everything that's a quick fix is giving up. But is that really a quick fix? Because you're still shouldering the understanding of what the journey has and entails. You can't go back to not knowing once you know. And that's what they're saying here. And sources mentioning that even though there's a lot of red flags that are coming up, don't settle. Don't go backwards. But it's okay to stop. It's okay to be like, okay, I just need a break for a minute. I need to step away because this is feeling very overwhelming. We see this is with the subconscious mind here with the moon in the reverse. This is something subconsciously coming through that you keep pushing away because it feels scary, because it feels too dense, it feels too heavy, it's too much of a burden, there's too much overwhelm that's connected to it. That's okay. That's okay. But we're best case scenario, even though this might not feel like it, is sources saying we're not leaving you alone. You know, the 6 of Wands talks about a very strong alliance, a partnership of sorts that's coming in. And this is spiritually, right? Wands, as it's, yes, it's connected to fire, it's connected to action, but fire is also connected to spirit. The action essence is connected to spirit. The passion that drives us, the desire that drives us to do something in our lives, to change ourselves, to get up off the couch and make a shift. And that's what's coming through here. We see there's a lot of emotional upset that's driving the mental mind. Even here, it's like the thing that's on top now, the thing that's in the top half of the card here, we're looking at that. This is the mind of the card, right? Not the body of the card, but the mind, if we're looking at it this way. We're looking at the emotions as the cups are on the table and the swords are on the table. He's holding a coin and a wand. I'm stuck taking action right now because my emotions and my thoughts and my emotions are on either side of me taking this action. So source is sending someone into your journey, into your life, to remind you that you are powerful enough and capable enough to keep going. Even when you want to give up, Source is going to remind you that you're not alone on this journey, even though it feels like that, okay? And for those of you that identify with a labeled relationship, I'm not getting your hopes up and saying this is your person coming in. That's not what this is. This is someone who's going to help you in the next stint of your journey. Okay, this could come in June. This could come during Leo season. This could come on the 6th of the month. But I just want to point this out. This also could come in the next 6 days to 6 weeks. But as a time frame, not getting so caught up on the time frame, right? But I do feel like for someone, I need to mention there's a time frame here, because otherwise it's like you're just going to brush it off and be like, this isn't my reading. This could also mean that you were born on 6/6. That would make you a Gemini, I believe. You could be a Pisces, a Gemini, a Leo, have very prevalent Mercury placements. You could have a Capricorn moon, an Aquarius rising. Yeah, Gemini energy is coming out really heavily here too. We have the 3rd house, Gemini, and Mercury energy. Yeah. Yeah, romantic frustration, the 4 of Wands in the reverse. This is a broken heart energy. And nobody, how do I hear that song? Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. I don't know any of the other words, but that's what's coming through. With the 6 of coins in the reverse, this is just, people have done you dirty. They really have. They have never had much to give. And what Source is saying here is like, this is what's driving you right now. This is what's pushing you forward. Aries energy coming in. Taurus energy. Capricorn. Virgo. But you are stronger than this. This has been something that's happened in your life and you've overcome many times. But right now it just feels extra heavy. Plus we're in Mercury retrograde at the time of recording this. And you know, this Mercury retrograde is pretty chaotic. I don't know all the transits or anything like that, but this is just a pretty chaotic Mercury retrograde at November of 2025. So even if you're catching this a year down the road or whenever you happen to see this, it could actually be Mercury retrograde again at that time, and it could be bringing change. And Mercury retrograde is bringing us to almost what feels like a standstill with our communications. It's having us to stop and relook at the way that we're approaching people, the way that we're connecting with people as well. You know, we have to rewrite emails. We have to delete text messages and rewrite them over. We're on the phone call. We have to stop ourselves from saying certain things so that we can say things in a way that's going to make sense. And sometimes that's really a challenge during this time, but it is with purpose. I feel like right now it's about being honest with yourself. And are you believing something that could actually be an illusion? You know, it's interesting. I do want to get a clarifier for you here. So let me put this down. I don't know what's on the bottom of the deck. I'm going to put that there. Let me get a clarifier for pile number 1. Your pick a card reading. Oh, wow. The 3 of coins came out and it wants to be over the 6 of wands. So guidance. There's going to be some sort of alliance that comes in for sure. This is somebody who appreciates you, who is cheering you on. This could be guidance, like you're going to be receiving direct messages from your spirit guides as well. Like you're going to be feeling their presence in your life, okay? This could be something that is spiritual. This could also be something that is physical with both of these cards, okay? But with guidance coming out as the clarifier and wanting to be over the 6 of wands, it's very clear. And it has to do with the burdens you're carrying. Leaving behind these things that for a long time you didn't know how to put down, or maybe didn't have the courage to put down because you didn't want to rock the boat. You didn't want to deal with how everybody was feeling about this or what everybody was going to say about this, which is understanding. You know, it's understandable. What it's talking about, though, is that now you're coming into a space where it doesn't matter anymore what other people think or what other people are going to say, because they're not the ones that have to take care of you. You are. Okay, yeah, on the bottom, yang energy. A lot of action, a lot of forward motion here. Aries, Leo, Sag, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Proactivity, expression, doing, and forward motion. Okay, so this is overcoming the thoughts and taking action towards something, like the 10th house showing up underneath that, structure, discipline, life, mission, accomplishments, and career. This is a part of you embracing your 10th house energy as well. Taking into accountability what you desire for your life, the outcome that you want to see. That's not always easy. It's like, well, I want this outcome, but you might run away from that or shy away from that because it might be different than what you've ever done before. Like, say you've always been a business executive, and then suddenly you want to quit your executive job and become a professional surfer, right? And that doesn't have to be what it is. This is just the example they're showing, the extremes, right? You're leaving $100,000 plus year a job, $100,000 year job, to go into something that's not necessarily guaranteed. And of course, people are going to have something to say about it. Why would you leave stability? Why would you leave behind this amazing opportunity? Why would you let this go? But that doesn't matter. The why is up to you. If you feel suffocated at this job, isn't that reason enough? If you feel like surfing is your passion, isn't that reason enough to go and try it for yourself? You got one life to live. Can you imagine getting to the age of 90 and looking back and being like, wow, I really wish that I had tried surfing. I really wish that I had done that. This is about having no regrets for the journey that you're on, pile one. Transitions. You have all the inner resources you need to cross whatever bridges arise on your path. So this is a huge transition. This is a cosmic alignment that's happening. This is wisdom, right? Wisdom that's coming in through cosmic alignment, which is discomfort. That discomfort is bringing you closer to yourself because it's showing that this is something I don't want or I don't resonate with anymore in my life. But transitions can be increasingly difficult on our journey. It's not like, it does get easier after a time, but as much as it gets easier, it also gets more difficult because we're letting go of things that we never thought we would let go of. We have earth energy coming out. Stay grounded. So it's very important at this time for you to stay grounded. Do grounding exercises, meditations, getting out in earth, spending time with your feet, bare feet on the ground, whatever it is that you do to get grounded. Doing that right now will help move you through this hard time in life, the shadow period. Exactly. Proceed with caution. This is integration of the shadow. This is not an easy time. Okay. We're talking about that. Of course, we can't. What was I saying earlier? Like, you can't eradicate the shadow side of the world. Right now, you're facing the shadow. Right now, that's what you're facing, is the shadow. Okay, so we can't eradicate the shadow. Our job is to integrate it, to find the balance, to find the in between the light and the shadow. Discipline. I can accomplish what I set my mind to. So this is sort of showing you like your discipline, your routines, your determination is going to help you through this process. Balance. Thank you so much, Source. I bring a state of perfect harmony into my world, and I do so without judgment. So there might have been a lot of judgment held on to what's been happening in your life, whether that's with another person, a situation, a circumstance, or just what your life has been up until this point. Like, if you're sitting here saying, oh, like, my life is so terrible, or I'm so terrible, or I'm just, worthless because nothing happens in my life that's good, right? That's a judgment. That's immediate judgment that's happening. And judgment oftentimes is one of the densest vibrations that we can get into. It is something that sticks around for a long time, and it creates a lot of dissonance in our soul. And when that dissonance is the only thing that we can focus on, we begin to see that dissonance out in the outer realm because we're not at peace and harmony and balance within ourselves. So that is being manifested in the physical realm as a way of reminding us that it's an internal job, not an external job, right? It's an internal job. Your pick a card reading, pile one. What more would you like to say, Source? Thank you. On the bottom, yes, Milky Way with perspective. How are you looking at it? Can you reframe it to a more positive, more aligned feeling, right? Rather than seeing it's happening to me, it's happening for me, right? Understanding that things happen to us and the lesson arises from the circumstance, not this is happening to me for a lesson. Rather seeing it's like there's a lesson that arises because of this. The solution is the lesson. It's just reframing it, because I feel like as a spiritual community, we've been telling everybody, oh, and I've been there too, and I have grown. If you've been with me for any amount of time on this channel, you've watched me grow the way I've watched you grow. And that's a part of the process. And the thing is we get so stuck in these repeat cycles, and that's what everyone, oh, well, it's happening for a lesson. There's a lesson that you have to learn, and I've been there too. But recently in meditation, I've realized something. It's not that there's a lesson to learn, because life is going to happen whether you need the lesson or not. The lesson arises from a solution to a situation that's out of balance in our lives. That's what it is. It's not that we needed that, but we benefit from learning the lesson because we benefit from finding and creating a solution for ourselves. That's growth. That's expansion. That's our spirit saying, I got you. Don't worry. But when we look at it like, oh, this is happening for a lesson, it looks like we're not smart enough, or we're not wise enough, or we haven't done enough. It's going back to that feeling of I'm not enough. And that's not true at all. Life is going to continue to happen to us no matter how positive and bright and light and spiritually grown we are. Life is still going to happen, because life is the earth. Earth is a very dense realm. And that's what happens here. Life is a mystery with the 8. So this is about you clearing out what may have felt like karmic cycles, but bringing in your abundance through letting go of old beliefs that no longer serve you. Okay. On the bottom, yes, the ant spirit. Again, another confirmation. Time to collaborate. There is somebody that is coming into your life to help you on your journey, to help be a support system for your journey, pile 1. This is a very profound message. Okay, they don't want those. Try again. What else? Your pick a card reading, pile 1. This one. All right, thank you, source. On the bottom, we've got Knight. Be brave and honest. This is about holding integrity for yourself, right? Don't settle for something because you're afraid you're not going to get something better. Don't rest on your laurels is what's coming in. Now is not the time to rest on your laurels. Okay, and so this is about being honest and having that integrity and picking up your honor and doing what is honorable for you, not for everyone else. Okay, and this, again, we're looking at this and we're acknowledging that this is a very difficult situation. This is something that's been very challenging. But again, challenges are going to happen. That's just it. So instead of seeing it like, oh, what did I do? Why did I deserve this? It's not about you deserving it. It's just happening because it's life. It's life, but we like to put reason to everything, and sometimes things just don't have a reason. It just is. But see, that feels scary, accepting it just is. It's like, no, I need a reason, but why? It's like I've told many clients this as well. You know, if somebody's cheated on you or betrayed you, okay, like we'll go with betrayal. It's just easier because everybody has a sense of betrayal at some point in their life. Someone's betrayed you, and the first question you ask when someone betrayed you is why. And even if that person gave you an answer, even if that person said, well, I did it because of XYZ, whatever answer they give to you, because it's not something that you yourself would do, would never be an answer enough to benefit why they did it. It just wouldn't. Like, even if it was a very intricate answer, there's no part of you that would accept it. And when I say you, I mean the collective, that would accept it, because we would never show up like that. That's exactly what we have. And so it's easier to find a reason to life because it feels like we're finding something to place blame on. Like, they showed up, they betrayed you. That was their actions. That was their actions. Let them own their actions. Don't try to keep finding closure with it. We have to make closure ourselves. See, that's how they showed up. They showed me that I can't trust them anymore. And the minute that trust is broken, That's the minute that you know you don't have a sound relationship anymore. Because trust it's the hardest thing to gain back once it's been broken. It's nearly impossible because there will always be the are you sure, or what if, or what about. There will always be that question. Like we have God, wow. Benevolence and compassion, recognizing the internal force within yourself and others. The shadow is despotism and cruelty, using power to control people. I also feel like this card is just reminding you that this is source coming in and giving you this message because of the God card, but also reminding you to step into that benevolence and compassion for yourself, recognizing the internal force that resides within all of us. We're not separate from one another. We never will be. All right, so I'm going to do, let's see, since this is potentially going to be with somebody who has a labeled relationship, I will get some love cards. Let me get one of these cards out first. Thank you. On the bottom, we have... Whoa, trust. So I'm just going to say, if you did not check out the prayer at the beginning, you might want to check out the prayer. You might also want to check out the collective message at the beginning. And those are both time-stamped in the description box below. Because this energy came out so strongly in both of those. But trusting source, trusting in the process, trusting what's happening. Instead of trying to control it, can you surrender to the possibilities? So let's get some love cards because this could be potentially in regards to a connection. We have social media, breakup. What else, source? Your pick a card. Okay, new love. And healing. Okay, on the bottom, music. So this could be in regards to someone who's a musician. You could be a musician. This could be receiving messages through music as well. So this is a really prime time to listen to music and you'll receive downloads as well. We have social media. Someone's been spying on you. You could be trying to get onto online dating again, or you're reminiscing about something. There's also potential for networking here. So we had breakup come through. Walking away, ending, separation, it's over. Yeah, so that's that betrayal that's coming through as well. Unexpected, surprise, unpredictable, shocking, and unusual. Life is a mystery. Open up to the possibilities. We have the new love. This could be what's unexpected as well. Honeymoon phase, childlike, moving on, and a new beginning. Moving on from something that was very disruptive in your life. And regardless, like here's the thing, regardless if this is regarding a connection or love connection, whatever it is, I feel like this is symbolic to everyone on pile one. This is showing like you're moving on and having a new beginning. Something that you love is coming into your life. Why? Because there's massive healing here. Wounds, improving, mending, and progress. Okay, so whatever it was that hurt you, you're healing from, you're moving on from, you're embracing a new beginning here. So we do have Aries energy. We talked about Aries energy quite a bit. Independence, bravery, and passion. Aries is also the start of the zodiac wheel, the zodiac year. And this is like likened to a big bang, right? Cardinal energy starts the beginning of each season and it's a big bang. There's a big force of energy that's coming in. So this could be something that happens rather quickly, but it might not be. It might just be, you know, like when fall happens, it's not a big bang, right? It's just things gradually start to turn to let go. So just remember, but it is that new beginning energy as well. Melting mask. Allow your spirit self to shine through the many roles you fulfill. You know, this tells me, it's so interesting because this makes me think of, I was watching Kung Fu Panda 3 last night. Yes, I'm that dork that totally watches cartoons and anime, and Lego Ninja is like, Ninjago is my favorite in the world. So yeah, I'm that dork. It's cool. I own it. It's getting in touch with your inner child. But I was watching it and I totally cry every time I watch the movie because there's sad parts in it. But if you haven't watched it, spoiler alert, check it out. But when he's mastering chi, when he goes into the spirit realm, right, he's asking the guy, he's like, well, am I a student? Am I a teacher? Am I the son of a panda? Am I the son of a goose? And he's asking all these questions and he goes, I realize that I'm all of these things. The many masks or the many roles that we wear, the many hats that we wear, right? And that's what helped him master his chi, was recognizing that I'm all of these things. It's not like when we ask who are we, we're always looking for one answer. But maybe who am I is not an easy answer, because we are many things, and yet at the same time, we're nothing of those things, right? And so it's just reminding ourselves to embrace what we feel in that moment. Cave, sanctuary. This is about protecting yourself. And this is also a new beginning, because this cave represents the womb. And so there's being birthed out of the cave here. Finding the sanctuary, coming back to the things that bring you peace. Okay, harmony. Yeah, harmony and balance is so vital for your pile. So for you, pile one, it's all about finding that harmony, that balance, that resolution, and coming back to an inner place of peace. Okay, it's interesting, we got music twice too, music on the bottom of this deck, right? So you could be a musician, or music just plays a vital role, a very crucial role in your life. Oracle, wait for important information. Yeah, you're going to be receiving something soon. I feel like your guides are going to make themselves known to you in a way that they haven't before. And it's just a part of the journey. There's no like, you could have made this happen faster or anything like that. It's not that. It's just like, it's coming at exactly the right time. The downloads, healer. Oh, I love this. We have passion to serve others by repairing the body, mind, and spirit. The ability to help transform pain into healing. The shadow is taking advantage of those who need help, failing to care for oneself. So you're coming into a very healing time. And also I feel like you're opening up to your abilities to heal others. And that's come from these difficult situations because you were able to put the shoe on the other foot. And that is powerful when you can really connect with people in that way. It helps the world feel understood. And I already heard someone say, yeah, but I want to feel understood. And sometimes pile one, there's a spirit that comes here that takes the burden on of never being understood, but embodying the role of understanding others because they've never been understood. And I wish to say that there were people out there who would understand you inside and out, but maybe you're the only one who will ever be able to understand you inside and out. And it's worth exploring that so that you can feel what that is. Give that to yourself. Cleanse. Yeah, healing, rebalancing. This is all about rebalancing your energy, finding that harmony once again. So let's take a look at your card. I'm going to read this from the book. Releasing allegiances. Wow. And I believe these are honeybees. Yeah, these are honeybees on this card. I don't know if you can see it. It's a honeybee. Maybe that one better. Let me see if I can focus on that. But it's just interesting because releasing allegiances is like releasing the past. You see how she's all curled up here? This makes me feel like, even though she's not, but it makes me feel like she's in the fetal position. The fetal position is like a self-preservation position that we go into, a self-soothing position. So you've done a lot of self-soothing here, and Source is helping you come into this place where you don't have to do that alone anymore. There are people who are going to walk that with you. And it might not be exactly in the way that you imagine, but it will be in the way that you need. Says it's time to hold on to yourself and let go of another, even if it's just for a time. You've gained all that was meant to be from that connection, at least for now. You've given and you have received. The need to let go does not deny the value of what has been acquired. It is more that the time has come for greater productivity, creativity, abundance, and consciousness in your life. You've completed many cycles in the vibrational frequency of consciousness that you are now being asked to release. You have been in that vibrational frequency for some time. You've earned the right to step out of that frequency, out of the habits, relationships, and the possibilities that are limited to that outmoded frequency. It is now time to expand into higher frequencies and experience that will bring enhanced love, empowerment, and peace into your life. You will take the wisdom of what you have learned with you into something new. New connections, new relationships, new life experiences at higher turn of the spiritual spiral. But first, you. Trust that you can step into solitude for a time without being consumed by loneliness. It is time to reconnect with yourself. Perhaps you've had a period of outward orientation where your energy has been diverted away from the inner journey of self-discovery and creative expression into the world of lists, schedules, and demands. Trust that you may need to step back momentarily, even from your healthy relationships and commitments, to refresh your spirit by reconnecting with your own nature in solitude. Perhaps you have been diving so deep into the creative waters that you've lost your bearings or your energetic connection to the earth, your own life and your needs in the here and now. Either way, you need to come back to the ground of your own body. This is a time for self-love, for paying attention to yourself, for nurturing, holding, and being with you. It doesn't mean you can't love another. It just means that you need to turn your attention inward for a time, for some quality time with you. You will emerge renewed, refreshed, and clearer about your journey and your relationships as a result of this. This oracle is also a confirmation that the work you've been doing on yourself is working for you. Your level of self-love is growing, and your ability to love consciously and healthily is increasing as a result. Some connections in your life will mature along with you, and your regard and affection will deepen and blossom. It will be revealed that other relationships are no longer relevant to your life journey. You will know which is which because you will feel it. You will feel it most certainly when you have some time to be with yourself in reconnection. If you've been contemplating a change in lifestyle, enrolling in a class, joining a group, starting a project, or setting aside time to focus on your inner work, this comes as a confirmation that these things will be supportive, healthy, and helpful for you. There is a situation that has recently arisen or will arise soon where you need to back yourself. Don't be put upon or hoodwinked into backing down by the emotional reactions of others. Didn't we talk about that too in the beginning? Wow. Stand your ground and stay aligned with what you know to be true. No matter how wonderful something seems logically or on the surface, if it doesn't feel right for you, it is not for you at this time. Perhaps that will change and it will be right for you later. Perhaps you'll step away and realize with relief that you had a lucky escape from a situation that would have ended up unnecessarily costing you. Either way, backing yourself and not giving in to the opinion of another, no matter how highly you would have rated that opinion in the past, is important. It is highly likely that you are breaking with tradition, with a role model or belief system that you have outgrown. You must be there for yourself because you are doing well. You are on the right path and you are growing. Well done. Yes, I love this confirmation. This card really just totally summed up this entire reading in a beautiful way. This is about you coming back to yourself after something. And that's why I was saying, like, that self-doubt, it's driven by believing that others know how to live your life for you better, or that other people have their stuff together. The truth is nobody has it together. Even if people tell you they have their life together, I can guarantee you at under the surface, they are freaking out. Like, I'm just trying to maintain this image and I really don't know. Nobody has a clue. Nobody has a clue. Everybody's just kind of floundering around in this life because that's life. That's what life is. So remember, it's not about comparing yourself and it's not about trusting what others are saying is right for you. Right? There is no right or wrong in this life. There is only and will only ever be what is right or wrong for you, pile one. Okay, so this is what I see here for you today. If you felt like this was your reading, leave a little music note down below and say, I choose to reconnect with myself and I choose to do what's right for me right now, knowing that this brings a state of harmony to my heart. And if it resonated with you, it means so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. You can absolutely claim the reading by doing so. And if you're interested in supporting the channel further, you'll find everything you need in the description box. So with that, I would like to take this moment to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this very powerful message. And until next time, stay human. Bye. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this dice with the 11th house on it, or if you were drawn to this arrowhead, Or if you happen to be drawn to this card during the shuffle, this is going to be your pick a card reading. First, I'd like to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of the journey with me. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time and this space with you. And if you happen to be new here, welcome. This is that reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic self. And we do things completely differently here on this channel. So that being said, if the message does happen to resonate with you, it would mean the world to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe down below. So with that, I just want to reiterate here that there are no questions in this reading. This is literally going to be a message direct from source. So I have no idea what's going to come through. And I just ask that we all approach this reading with an open heart and an open mind, okay? So let's find out. What is your pick a card reading, pile number 2? Source, what would you like to come through? What is your pick a card reading today, pile number 2? Source, what would you like to come through? Okay, so we've got the 5th house, we have Leo energy, and we have the North Node. Okay, so this is actually really positive. With the 5th house, this could be referring to a creative expression, leadership opportunity, someone who wants to go on a date with you. Especially with Leo here in the 5th house, that's in its home rule. You could have the North Node in Leo or the South Node in Leo, which would put the South or the North Node in Aquarius. Is that right? Yeah, Aquarius. Sorry, I was just like totally had a brain fart right there. But this is that energy where it's like there's this new expressive energy that's coming in for you, right? It's opening up to that expressive energy and letting it be. And that doesn't matter whether that's in regards to a date or in regards to a position or in regards to life in general. What this is saying is that this is a part of your journey. This is you stepping outside of your comfort zone and no longer being locked in to this box or this idea of what you needed to be before. You're saying, you know what, cool, I'm going to test the boundaries. I'm going to test the boundaries. And sort of saying, go for it. Go for it. Let yourself test the boundaries. Test the boundaries of what could be. Test the boundaries of what is possible, because we never know what's possible if we don't try. And this is giving you that freedom. And so this is a sense of reconnecting with your inner childlike nature, having a good time, being playful, being flirty, being bubbly and fun. And this is what you're meant to do at this moment on your path. This is a part of your path right now. And there's no like, oh, like I finally did the right thing and got me here. No, it's like, this is just now. This is the time. That's it. It's just, this is the time. Rather than looking at it, what did I do to get here? Looking at it as, it's the time. That's it. It's the time. That's all you need. It's the time, right? And that's such a powerful place to come from as well. I feel like you've faced a lot of your own internal emotional ego, and you've learned to let go of the materialistic world. Like where maybe before, even if you weren't really driven by money or driven by materialism, maybe still holding on to those societal constructs without realizing it, or they're just so deeply ingrained. It's like letting them go it's the process, right? It's a process. And so now you're coming into the space where you're just letting go of those ideas, those constructs, those beliefs, and saying, I open myself up to a new world of confidence and creativity. And there's a sense of loyalty that's coming in as well too. So this could be a friend that's coming in with super loyal energy to you, or this could be someone who is asking you on a date who you find is incredibly loyal throughout the journey. With the North Node here, source is saying, take it. Say yes to you, pile 2. That's what this feels like. Say yes to pile 2 because you deserve this. But sometimes we get in our head, we overthink things. We're like, oh my gosh, there's this, what about that, what about this, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. blah, 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 blah. And Source is saying, don't worry about all of that. Don't overthink it. That's the thing. I keep hearing it. Don't overthink it, kid. That's cute. Let's see what else comes through. Ooh, pile one. Pile one was woof. It was heavy. So we'll see what comes through. That's why I say keep an open mind, because Source could be talking on something that could be potentially triggering for people. So I'm just pointing that out as we're getting into it. Alright, so for pile number 2, what is your pick a card reading, Source? What is their pick a card reading? Yeah, I do feel like there's a wishy-washy energy here that you're getting rid of. Yeah, okay. Thank you. Yeah, you're gonna let go of it. This is like that back and forth energy, like maybe people who breadcrumbed you, or people who have been like, oh, I'm coming in, I'm here, then I'm gone, then I'm coming in, and then I'm gone, only when it's appeasing to them. Just like no longer being in an era of people pleasing. You're really letting that go. You're not trying to impress people anymore. You're not trying to be the anchor, is what I'm hearing. You're not trying to be the anchor for people anymore. You're really coming into a state of self-expression. Whoa, okay. That you have not had before. Okay, so Justice flew over, and it's right here. Okay, so, and it's in the upright. I'm going to put that on the bottom of the deck, though, because I feel like that wants to be on the bottom of the deck because it flew over there. It literally was just hanging by a thread on the bottom of the table. But yeah, with Justice here, there's a sense of reclaiming what is rightfully yours. It's like you remember who you are. Why do I hear that? Isn't that Mufasa in the clouds? Remember who you are. Yeah, it's just like you're remembering who you are. You're remembering your power, you're remembering your abilities, you're remembering your truth. And that's bringing a sense of justice into your life. And the justice is always divine justice, right? The law of cause and effect, if you will. Like, that's a universal law. It's the law of giving and receiving. That's the cause and effect. It's like what you do, you receive back. So it's like you could be in a state where you've been always in a state of giving. And you've given so much to so many people, but you have not received anything. And it's like you're building up the way they're showing it to me, if you will, hang with me. They're showing it to me as like a karmic bank account. So you're like depositing. Every time you deposit, but you can't withdraw. Like you can't withdraw. You can't go and be like, well, I just want to withdraw like this from my spiritual bank account. Like you can't, right? Like it's just not something that happens. Source is the only one who can pay that back. We're depositing it, and Source is our investor, and Source is taking care of our investments, and our investments we don't get to see. It's kind of like a surprise investment for us, and that's what this feels like. It's an interesting road that we're going down, but we're just gonna keep rolling with it. And so yeah, that's what it feels like, though. It's like you've been investing so much good, positive, loving energy. Excuse me, I'm not tired. I just keep yawning. Like, I feel like these are yawns of confirmation because my nose is going crazy right now too. It's like itching like crazy. So yeah, they're showing, and then what's going to happen is that's going to come back to you tenfold. When you receive it, it's going to feel like so much more than what you gave. And it's going to be with interest, of course it is, but it's just going to show just how much you've given, how much you put forth. Yeah, okay. Queen of Wands, the Ace of Swords in the reverse, and the Four of Coins in the reverse. Here's the thing, like, there was somebody in your energy. I feel like you had to deal with someone who was, I just heard a riot. They were a riot. Oh, they were a riot. They caused a lot of drama. This could have been someone that caused a lot of, I'm going to move the camera a little bit here. Realizing that I'm crooked. I feel like the perspective that you had of this person was difficult because it's like you maybe cared for this person. This could be an ex. This could be a family member. This could be a mother or father, someone that was an Aries sign. Here's the thing. Like, I feel like you gave so much to this person. you gave the whole of who you were, and it was always with good intentions, right? And of course, you've learned through this process that doing that only puts us in a state of losing ourselves. And you may have lost yourself in this situation, things falling apart. There was no foundation. There was a lack of finances here. This could be someone that you are, so maybe you're in a situation where you're relying on someone to help you out for the time being. You know, the last 5 years in the world have been kind of chaotic for everybody. And so people have moved back home, people have moved in with friends, people have gotten roommates, people have definitely been trying to find better ways to support themselves than by being alone, because the economy at this time is just not allowing for that, right? So it's like you see a lot of partnering up with other people to help relieve financial burdens, but it feels like there was a real huge financial burden. Maybe you had lost a job, or you had to go on unemployment, or you had to go on disability, or something along those lines. It doesn't have to be that drastic either. Maybe you just took a massive pay cut from what you were used to. Like, it just feels like where you once had stability and finances, now there's something that you went through where you didn't. And it created a sense of where you had to rely on someone whose only the only thing in their mind was money. I know she's not the Queen of Coin, but it's interesting because the Queen of Wand, actually, she sits upon a throne of materialistic things, right? Because she's taken action to receive those things. And this is just through studies and stuff. But it's like the energy that she's sitting upon is the material life. Like, even the Knight of Wands talks about the material life, the physical gratification in life. Okay, and so there's somebody here who is holding money over your head and making you feel bad about it. This feels like another energy. This doesn't feel like your energy. This feels like this is someone outside of you, like third party energy here. And this feels like they also were very conceited. So this could be someone that was helping you by providing you with a home, or making sure that you had food, or making sure that you had necessities, basic necessities, right? Why do I hear that song? Bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worry and your strife. Yeah, man. Like, yeah, these are bare necessities. Like, that's what this feels like. They're offering you just the bare minimum, nothing more. But they're making it seem like they're giving you this life of luxury, that they're taking care of everything for you, even though they may have been the ones that stepped forward and been like, hey, pile 2, don't worry about it. I'll take care of it. I'll help you. Right? And this doesn't have to be anything as extreme as you living with them. This could be just they were helping you out with anything. This feels like someone who offered their services for the sake of being a hero in a situation, while making you feel bad, because making you feel bad made them feel bigger. That's what this was. They were very conceited. They were doing this not out of the goodness of their heart. They were doing this to receive something in return. This is someone that, if you hit it big in their eyes, so that, again, if this was like an ex, right? Like, maybe you had to live with them before you could leave, and so they were helping you out while you were trying to get your stuff together to leave, but you guys were already broken up. And they could have brought people home and you didn't. And then when you left, you finally connected with someone and they're holding it over your head. Like, how could you do this to me? Like, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Like, they're making it seem like it was your fault. But they're the ones who offered this. That's what it feels like. They're the ones who offered it. And this is Source balancing the scales out for you here. And so what Source is coming in and telling you for your reading pile number 2 is that things are going to be better moving forward. Things are going to level out. You put so much time, energy, and effort into the spiritual bank account of positivity. Like, even when you were dealing with this difficult person, I still feel like you showed up from a state of compassion with them, even when there were times when you maybe wanted to, like, sock it to them. You know? When you wanted to just, I wanted to lay this person out. I got a lot of stuff, but then you would just gather yourself and probably leave and just, or go find your own space and just work through it. And I feel like there were times when you just wanted to put this person back in their place. And it was like this realization that, like, okay, I could potentially lose my help if I do that. And so and I feel intuitively like Source was also telling you, like, don't just scale it back a little bit right now. Things are really difficult. We understand that. But I do feel like intuition-wise, you were being told to bring it back a little bit as well, because this was about you finding balance in the unbalanced situation that this is. This was a very internal journey for you. This was something that's very internal, and it was very solitude too. There's like no asking for this person to help you through what you were going through. There's no asking others to help you go through, because what was arising by relying on this person, there was a codependency issue here, or a need for dependency here that was arising, that brought up a certain trigger that you had to work through. Yeah. So this is interesting because it's sort of showing here with the Five of Wands that this was something that was an unbalanced situation. The Five of Wands talks about us losing our entire life, or losing our entire balance in life and not knowing which way is up. But then suddenly, after a period of discrepancy, we find our balance again. Right. And then the Six of Coins in the upright. So there's equal give and take. This is now you getting returned back to you what was given. Yeah, this feels really, really like whatever you've been through in the last recent year or time frame or whatever. It's like you've given so much, and now that's going to be returned to you tenfold. And I feel like that's what it is. So it's like just expressing yourself, and maybe that's what it is. It's realizing that like I don't have to fight this person when I'm expressing myself, but I do need to express myself. Like if I don't like how they're treating me, I can say that. Right? I don't have to cause an argument, but if they're coming at me sideways, it can be like, look, you don't need to disrespect me that way. I didn't disrespect you that way. We can come at this like two grown adults. And if we can't come at this like two grown adults right now, then what we need to do is separate so that we can cool off and come together and talk about it when we have cool heads. It's like, that's what it feels like. It's not, like, I know what this is. Like, I get it, but you can't treat me like that. You're just being a total jerk and blah, 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 and curse, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? Like, you know, and that might have been something that you did in the past, but now it's just like realizing like, or this person could be someone that's constantly bugging you, poking at you, pile two, and you're just like, stop, leave me the hay alone, please. And somebody's coming in here, or you're finding a way of expressing yourself where you're literally no longer in this person's energy, like where you're either stepping away because there's someone new, or you're saying enough is enough. And you're taking this as initiative to go and create, to go and make something for yourself. So if there's a new person coming in, this new person is helping you to alleviate this person's energy in your auric threshold. That's what this feels like. And if it's a creative expression, then this creative expression is giving you the gall, if you will, to say, I have to go do something else that does not involve being around you. So bye. And you're just going to peace out. It's like, and some of you might even do, what do they call it? The Irish goodbye. I think I brought this up on another reading. It's like, I didn't recently. I learned about it like 3 years ago, what the Irish goodbye was. And I've done it before. I just never knew it had a name. I just didn't know, like, an Irish goodbye is physical ghosting. When you go out to a party and you're with everybody and all of a sudden you just leave and you don't tell anybody you're leaving. You just pick up your stuff and you go and you leave. That's an Irish goodbye. Later, everybody's like, hey, where's pile 2 at? And you're like, oh, I went home like 3 hours ago, guys, because no, I was done. And they're all like, why didn't you say goodbye? And it's like, because everybody was having fun and I didn't want to make a big deal about it. I was just ready to go, so I left. Like, why do I need to tell people what I'm doing? That's what this feels like. It feels like you're about ready to do an Irish goodbye here. Like, bye. Good luck. Bye. You're not even telling them that you're leaving. So that's hilarious to me. The Irish goodbye. I'm so glad I learned the name. We have Mars. Yeah. Move forward and defend self. Yeah. This is very clear energy. Like it's just, I'm done being stuck. I'm done being stuck in your vortex of chaos. I'm done. I don't want to be here anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to have this anymore. Right? So, you're not. Alright, your pick a card reading pile number 2. On the bottom, yeah, the unknown. Knowing the unknown. Like, realizing that what was once uncomfortable, which the North Node points to what's uncomfortable, for us to step into what's uncomfortable. right? Before, maybe you were holding on to a comfortable situation just because the discomfort of the unknown was too much to handle. Now you're like, you know what? That looks like cherry pie to me. And that's our, she's my cherry pie. Okay. There's all these songs that are coming through for you, Pile 2. But yeah, I feel like that's just it. It's like you're going towards it because it looks sweet now. It's just like, I'd rather deal with that than to keep dealing with this craziness, right? The chaos, the discomfort of the situation. I can't. With the South Node, stick to your comfort zone. Yeah, you're not doing that anymore. You're saying, no, that's okay. But I feel like this is the energy you were in for some time, is like, this is what I know. This is comfortable to me. This is, at least I understand what I'm receiving. But that got overwhelming too. It's like, I just can't with this anymore. I gots to go. Yeah, and 8th house, look, accept that it's complicated. Facing fears, releasing karma. You know, this is all about leaving your legacy, overcoming those situations, deep emotional healing and purging of the subconscious energy. So it's like, whatever it was that was keeping you in your South Node energy, like you're realizing like, this is a complicated situation, but I'm going to move on because it's okay that I can move on, right? So this could be, and again, this is just an example. Like if you had an ex that you went back and forth to, like you broke up, you got back together, you broke up, you got back together, you broke up, you got back together, and then you broke up and you were like, I can't anymore. I can't do this anymore. I just can't. Like, this is not the type of life I want. This is not the type of relationship that I want. This is too crazy. And so you might have told them, they're like, this is the last time. I'm not coming back again. And the ex might have been like, yeah, sure, whatever. We always get back together. But this time you made it clear, right? That's that boundary that you set. You said, and that's with compassion and love. Like, I told you how I was going to show up from now on, and that's the way I'm showing up. And they're the ones over there angry about it, making it seem like it's your fault. But for you, it was just, this is a last time resort. I can't do this anymore. I'm tired, right? That's being exhausted and accepting that this is complicated. It doesn't mean that I don't love you. It means that I love you, but I'm going to love you from a distance because I need to love myself right now. That's what this feels like. 4th house, go back to the basics. Yeah. Coming back to home for yourself, right? Like, this is coming back home. This could also have to do with a labeled relationship too. Just pointing it out there because they keep poking at me about it. And so I'm just going to mention it. I'm not going to say what kind of labeled relationship because I'm not here to tell you what your journey is or isn't. If it comes up in the cards, it comes up in the cards. But source poking at me right now, just for those of you that are like, I wonder if this is, then this is exactly who that's referring to. Accepting that it's complicated, but moving on for your own benefit. There's nothing wrong with that. And I feel like for those people out there that are saying, no, you should never move on, especially if it's this type of labeled relationship, you should never move on. It's like, Source never designed a connection like that to keep us in repeat cycles. The purpose of that relationship, that type of connection, is to make us grow. That's the only purpose it holds. So it is complicated because there's this deep emotional connection that you have to somebody and you don't understand it, right? It's like, oh my gosh, like I've never loved somebody as deeply as I love this person. But this person is nowhere in sight. Like, they ghosted me, they're running, or, you know, they're chasing me and I'm running, you know, whatever the situation may be. But it's like you've gotten comfortable in that cycle. Right? This is what I've grown to know, that this is what this type of relationship is, and these are the patterns that everybody's doing. But it's, you know, the famous words of people way back in the day, if everybody were jumping off a cliff, does that mean that you have to too? No. So accept that it's complicated and move on for yourself. You're not moving on and losing out on something. If it's yours, it will come back to you. You're moving on for the sake of taking care of yourself. And that's what's uncomfortable, because it's leaving behind something that you felt or thought or believed was always going to make an appearance back into your life. And it doesn't even have to be a connection. This could be a job. It could be anything. It could be anything. But it's like, we see here that this was a very unstable situation. It was very caustic by its nature. And it kept putting you in this state of not seeing clearly what you wanted or who you were. And so when you're in that type of energy, because of a person or a place or a situation, no matter how much you feel connected to it, that's not healthy. That's not healthy for you. It might be healthy for the thing that you're connected to, but if that's a one-sided situation, right? That's not equal give and take. And Source is in the business of equal give and take. We're trying to lead you to equal give and take. So be okay with surrendering and letting go. That doesn't mean you're giving up hope. It doesn't mean you're losing your faith in the situation. What it means is that it's okay for me to protect myself and to have faith that better days are going to come. Blame. Yeah. Wow. So didn't I say that this person is blaming you? And I feel like you've definitely shouldered a lot of that blame as well. I accept responsibility for my well-being. And maybe that's it. Maybe wanting to leave and wanting to move on from something, it's like got you all twisted, and it's like, I keep hearing my panties are in a bunch. Like, that's what I heard. Okay, so I'm just bringing it through, but it's like, that's what I'm hearing. And so it's like, yeah, it's got you all twisted and turned, and there's a lot of like, but if I leave, like, they're going to go and find someone else, or if I leave, I'm not going to find something as good as this, or if I leave, you know, like, what am I doing? I'm leaving someone else out in the cold. But that's not the case. It's like you're shouldering a lot of this blame that this other party is putting onto you. You're actually shouldering that. And it's not yours to shoulder. It's taking responsibility for your own well-being, which means I have to take care of myself. And that's what Source is saying here. It's like the only way to move on and move up and to come back into this creative place, this place of self-confidence and clarity and internal power. Right? Leo's connected with the sun. The sun rules our solar plexus chakra, the root of our power. It's like coming back to that powerful place by saying, I get to choose me, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. No matter what anybody says on the spiritual journey, if you're choosing you, let me be the one that tells you that's the right thing to do. Okay? I don't care if 1,000,000 people tell you it's wrong. It's not. It's not. How can it be wrong to choose yourself? To choose what you want, to choose what you desire, to choose you. How can that be wrong? When that's been the point and the purpose of this journey over everything. We're letting go of societal constructs. What has happened a lot on the spiritual journey is that people are taking old societal constructs, old beliefs, and they're applying them to new, if you will, or old concepts. Ancient concepts. They're applying societal structure to ancient concepts. They're applying societal beliefs to new concepts, concepts that are meant to free us from those societal constructs. But we're just taking that and we're placing it like, oh, in the twin flame journey. We're just placing it in the spiritual journey. Or, oh, we're just placing it in the money journey, whatever that is. The growth, the healing, all of it. We're actually just reforming those old constructs to fit into new dynamics within our lives. And the purpose of it is to let go of those old constructs so that we can open up to the possibility of the new dynamics in our lives. And sometimes that's hard because it's like, but everyone says this. But sometimes we have to trust our gut. Again, solar plexus energy. We have to trust our gut. Trust that Source is guiding us to what is meant for us, even if it doesn't come in the way, shape, form, or package that we expect it to. Again, with fire, this passion energy coming in here. To reignite that internal fire. There's something about this situation, Pile 2, that has made you feel listless. Is that the right word? Yeah, listless. That's what they're saying here. You've lost your shine. You've lost your sparkle. This has been something that's weighed on you. This is something that's like, I see where this person's coming from. I understand why they feel the way that they feel, but they don't want to open up to how you feel. That's a one-sided relationship. That's a one-sided connection, no matter how you look at it. If someone's using you for their benefit, and every time you need something so that you can be a party in this connection, no, that's a one-sided relationship. I'm not saying they're toxic. I'm not saying that they're terrible people. That's not what this is. Right? We are so quick to label everybody and everything that doesn't resonate with us as toxic, and that may not be the case. This situation does not resonate with you at all. It doesn't resonate with you. So it's caustic to you. So it's toxic to you, but that doesn't make this person a toxic person or a terrible person. That's not for me to say. It's ultimately not for any of us to say. Right? That's judgment. We're not here to judge. We're here to choose the journey that best suits us. There is no right or wrong. There is only what's right or wrong for us. Okay, yeah, on the bottom, wow, this is such a powerful card to come out for your reading, pile 2, because we have this energy, the iceberg submerged. You know, you only see 10% of an iceberg. So right now, you're only seeing 10% of the situation right now. There's a whole 90% that's underneath the surface, right? The emotional, mental, spiritual, under the surface energy that you're not privy to, because you're not meant to be privy to that. That's not yours to carry. Imagine you're seeing 10% and you're carrying blame for 10%. What would you do if you saw the other 90? It's not yours to fix. Let the train go by. I'm like right next to the track. It's so close. It's not even a football field away. It's like literally like a block away. That's how close I am to the train. But that's what they're saying here. It's like, what would happen if you knew what the other 90% was? How much of that would you make your problem? Because that's a type of person you are. Because you're so you're an empath. You're empathic. You can put the shoe on the other foot. You can see where a person's coming from. But this is not your shoe to wear. This person, though, is shoving it in your face, saying, this is your shoe to wear. You got to wear my shoe. You got to figure it out. Because that's what they've done their whole lives, because that's what they're used to, right? They don't know any better, and maybe they do, right? Ultimately, when people act like that, it's because they're reacting to a subconscious fear that's arising. So they're not actually aware of why they're doing it. They just know that this is what I do when I feel this way, or when this comes up. Like the hiccups. So we're not here to judge, but we're here to look at the situation. It's like Source is trying to balance things out, but sometimes you have to take a step for yourself. The miracles are endless. Yes, miracles are possible. You may have come from pile 1 too. And this is that confirmation from pile 1 if you did. You don't have to watch pile 1 if you didn't. I got the hiccups just randomly. Let me take a drink. You know, it's so funny. If you've been with me for any amount of time, you might be like, wow, she gets the hiccups a lot. But what is hilarious is that I don't actually get hiccups when I'm not doing readings. Like, I very rarely will get hiccups just in normal life. It does happen, right? Because hiccups are a thing. But it's like the hiccups I get in normal life are so loud and obnoxious. They're like, ah! Like, it's so loud, I just scared my dog. I'm sorry guys, but no, that's exactly what my real life hiccups sound like. But when they're on the readings, they're just these little like, it's so funny, and so it cracks me up. So it's like a hiccup of confirmation is what they're saying here. But the miracles are endless. Like, when you open to the possibilities, then you open to the opportunities where miracles reside on just the other side of the door. But sometimes it's hard to let go of something that we've imagined holding on to for so long. Like, this is the only thing that we can see. But Source has something better aligned for us. We just have to be brave enough to let go of all the things that we thought it had to be and open up to what it can be. And that's okay. Like, if you're not ready, you're not ready. But I feel like if you're here, you're ready. If you're listening to this message, it feels like you're ready. Okay? Take time to reflect with the mirror guardian. Yeah. Looking in the mirror. Looking at self. Taking accountability for how you've shown up in this situation too. Like, have you held on when, like, it's kind of that energy of I overstayed my welcome, right? And sometimes we don't realize we're doing that. We don't realize we've held on to this for so long, even when we knew we needed to let go, because it was just, we got used to holding on to it. It became comfortable for us to hold on to it. But it's not ours to hold on to anymore. And so it's just reflect. It's not about blaming yourself. That's not what this is. This is just taking a time to look at, should I have let this go a long time ago? Maybe. But the question now is, am I ready to let go of it now? Am I ready to let go of it now? Am I ready to let it be whatever it is so that I'm not burdened by it anymore? Because of course, we can always say, of course, I should have let go of this 10 years ago. I should have let go of this last year. I should have let go of this last week. But we won't ever let go of something until we're ready. You know, Avenger. Avenge your rights. Pile 2, avenge your rights. Here we go. Desire to balance the scales of justice. What a beautiful confirmation. It says righteousness on behalf of society or oneself. Source is saying, I'm going to return this to you. You have to be free of the burden in order for me to return this to you. It says the shadow is resorting to violence in the name of a cause. And I do feel like there is anger that has arisen in letting this go. Resentment, guilt, fear, right? Like, I do feel like that's something that's come up when, you know, maybe in the past you've heard, I need to let this go, or I need to surrender, or, you know, and with that came the fear of, but I'm letting go of something that the only thing that I know in life that feels right. But sometimes our emotional ego is so clever, and it convinces us that it's right for us, even though our spirit's trying to show us that it's not for this time around. Doesn't mean it won't be for forever. It doesn't mean that it won't happen eventually, but what it means is that right now it feels like your intuition is trying to remind you that there's something here that's just not in alignment with where you're going right now. And, you know, if it's a person and that's somebody that you want in your life, that doesn't mean that that's a forever thing. But also the other question comes into play here is that, and maybe it's a job, maybe it's a lifestyle, right? So whatever the label is or the situation is here, the other question is if you ask yourself, am I okay if this never comes back into my life? And if the answer is no, then that's showing that there's an attachment to it. And the attachment is what creates suffering. So how can you come into a state of acceptance rather than attachment? And that's the answers here. Illumination, exactly. How can you illuminate yourself to let go of it having to be exactly the way that you thought it should be, and opening up to how it can be? Source can't bring us what we're not ready to receive. So there's something here that, like, you might not be ready to receive. Now, just because it is dating with the 5th house, I'm going to get some love cards. I wasn't going to do this for every pile, but it happened on pile 1 too. So I just want to make sure that we're covering all our aspects here. So what else? Your pick a card reading. Okay. Okay. Yeah, your pick a card reading. Okay, soulmate. Yeah. Interesting. Woof! On the bottom of the deck, snake. Deception, shady, temptation, and enemy. So you see here, there's a lot of shady energy that's going on in regards to the situation right now. Okay, there's deception here, there's temptation, there's a potential enemy, there's a snake in the grass. Okay, so soulmate flew in. I have a couple cards that did flip over. We'll check those out here. But we do have twin flame, soul contract, soul connection, and past lives. Okay, so I had to say it at the beginning. It was like I felt it coming in really strong. This could be a labeled connection. This would include all of our labeled connections. Okay, so again, I'm not here to label the connection for you. But I was feeling very strongly that this could be a twin flame connection. And again, I'm not here to make that the truth or not the truth for you. That is your journey and yours alone. And that's for you to agree or disagree with. Okay. So what they're saying though is that this is definitely a connection in your life that has created a lot of dissonance. Okay. And there's a lot that's going on here, and it is complicated. But if you can embrace and accept that it's complicated and let yourself go back to finding passion in life again, this allows you to step outside of the South Node, what you're comfortable with, and embrace the North Node, which is freedom. And that's where it feels like you want to go. There is healing that's happening right now. You're healing wounds, you're improving, you're mending, you're making progress. So good things are happening for you. But I'm not here to tell you that they're coming back into your life. That's not what this reading is. Okay, and I just want to make that clear as we're moving forward. We do have unfinished business. It's not over. Patterns, back and forth, and baggage. Okay, so this is showing the patterns, exactly what I was talking about with the patterns, right? We're taking old societal constructs and we're forming them to fit into ancient wisdom as well as new age wisdom. So it's just letting go of those patterns. Can we truly let go of those patterns? So this may actually be finished business. But because we're trying to hold on to something, we're the ones that are making it unfinished business. And we have to find that closure within ourselves. Okay. Yeah. So romantic feelings, falling in love, affection, happiness, and emotions. There's a lot of deep love here. Okay. There's a lot of deep love. There's a lot of passion. There's a lot of connection. It feels like there's a lot of chemistry between you and them in this situation. And it's understandable. It's understandable to want to have that. Like, I'm never going to connect with somebody like that again. But maybe that's true. We never love anybody the way we loved somebody else in our lives. Like, even parents love their kids differently. That's what makes it beautiful, because your kids are different, right? But it doesn't mean that you love your kids less than each other. And I know favoritism exists and stuff like that, but hear me out, right? It's like when you have sound parents who are healthy parents, or who really, really want kids. Like, you look at people who have like 12 kids. You think they love all their 12 kids differently? Of course they do. Of course, because they have 12 personalities. They have 12 people who are 12 people. They can't love all 12 people the same way they love each other. Like, it's not going to work. But it doesn't mean that their love is any less for each one of those 12 children. But, you know, it's like maybe love for one is being that supportive listening ear, when love for another is that they need encouragement. They need words of affirmation. So the point is that no matter who we love in our lives, romantically or non-romantically, friends, family, and this, we love everybody differently. And the beautiful thing about love, pile 2, is that it is an infinite well that we can always tap into. So when we're saying, I'll never love anybody like I love this person, we're putting restriction on that, saying that what I'm saying is I'll never tap into that infinite well of love again, because this is it for me. You're putting your own restriction on yourself, right? And that's disconnecting you from the beauty that is source, the ability to always develop a sense of deeper love, a sense of deeper connection. Yeah, Jupiter, we have grow and expand. This is a growth period for you. That's why moving on is so important right now. Okay, so we have home. Interesting. Didn't we have home come? Yeah, the 4th house. Go back to the basics. May your body be where a harmonious balance of love, strength, light, and pleasure lives. What you desire, may you be in that. And sometimes what we desire isn't going to come through the packages that we expect them to come through. And I know that goes against what so many people have said. But again, we're trying to move away from those societal constructs and come into the reality of the situation that everybody's different. So we can't treat everybody as different and still make them try to be the same. That doesn't work. Fear. Yeah, okay, so we've got fear here. I've realized that I'm testing my resolve to live in the energy of love. Wow, exactly what I was saying, tapping into that infinite well of love. But there's a fear here. If I let go, I'm losing the best possible thing for me. But you're not. It's like moving on. You've seen that this isn't panning out for you. So now it's about finding that justice again. And there could be someone who's coming in that's new, and that may be scary too. It's like, but I'm not going to love them the way I love this person. But maybe it's not about loving them the way that you love that person. Maybe it's about figuring out and exploring what it means to love this person now. Set healthy boundaries. And this sometimes also means with ourselves, but I feel like that's something that we talked about this whole time, where it's like, you're the one that had to say enough is enough. Like, I can't do this. So this could be someone who's exasperated with their labeled journey as well. Or again, dealing with a very difficult person. You know, we were just talking about love because we got some love cards. But again, it's like dealing with a very difficult person as well, and setting those healthy boundaries, not in an over egotistical way, but in a very calm, collected manner. Wow. Heart guardian, love and let yourself be loved. See, that's the other thing. Like, if you have a labeled connection and you know that they love you, right? But you want that physical love, can you open up yourself to the possibility of receiving that from the person you're meant to, not the person you want it to be? And everybody's so quick to say, well, this is my person, so it's meant to be them. But nobody knows that for sure. Only a fool thinks they know everything. So nobody knows that for sure. We can feel that, but it doesn't make it true. Source has a very, very unique way of reminding us that we don't know anything at all. And so that's why it's saying opening up to that. Child magical. Seeing the potential for sacred beauty in all things. The belief that everything is possible. And pessimism, depression, disbelief in miracles, believing that energy and action are not required for growth. So again, opening up and seeing things through the eyes of a child, like for the first time. Experiencing what that is. There's a cynicism that has been shrouding you for some time, and part of that comes from the fear, part of that comes from the blame that you felt. But how can you look, all these yellow cards, look, self-esteem and envy. This is all solar plexus energy from this deck. Then under that we have forgiveness. Okay, so this is about tapping back into your solar plexus chakra. And maybe there's been people who said, well, I have my person in my life and that has sparked envy. Like, what did I do wrong? That's that old construct saying I'm not enough. I obviously did something wrong. That's not true. Look, this brings a lot of anxiety for you. That the minute that anxiety comes up, that's a response to fear, right? That's a response to fear or a reaction to fear. It's like diving into that. If this is bringing up a lot of anxiety for me, then what is it that I'm holding on to so tightly? Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. 2 cards from different decks. The last 2 cards coming in, anxiety. What? Thank you, Source. Thank you so much. Anxiety, stress, depression, panic attacks, restlessness. That's something to look at here, okay? If letting go causes anxiety, why? That means we're holding on too tightly, okay? That means we have expectations in a situation that we shouldn't have expectations in. So let's take a look at this card. We're going to read this from the book. The world wants to be written. Yeah, there's a sense of transformation and opening up to your third eye here. But after tears have been cried, look, she has makeup running down her face. After tears have been cried, after releasing something that you didn't want to release, the world wants to be written. The existence that you want to live in wants to be created, but it doesn't mean it's going to come in exactly the form that we thought it would come in. We have to open up to that. It doesn't mean it won't either, but if we're holding attachments to it, then we're the ones that get disappointed every time. It says you might have been taught that creativity is something you have to work hard to access, or that finding your life purpose is so difficult that you must search high and low for it. Yet what you are is within you and wants to come out at every available opportunity. You don't have to struggle so much. It is more about allowing space for it to manifest and to let the energy flow. The real struggle is in not finding something. It is more about letting go of the idea that you need to search for your path in the first place. Letting go. You don't have to search for this any longer. It will come to you. What's yours is yours. The effort is in getting out of the way and not making something happen. Don't control it. As for being yourself, that is the foundation from which your true life path will reveal itself. Being yourself becomes easier when you give yourself permission to love, honor, and accept yourself in all circumstances, especially the ones where you might be tempted to reject and judge. Give the sacred rebel within the opportunity to decide your values, irrespective of whether they meet with general social acceptance, right? We don't have to follow the crowd. This oracle brings you the message that what you are dreaming of or seeking to do, create, live, or manifest is actually very natural for you. This is why you want to do it. If you've experienced controlling and manipulative forces as you were growing up, you would have found it hard to access your natural state at that time. You would have been too busy trying to adapt to get through the trials of childhood. When you finished navigating childhood and started to let go of who you were taught to be in order to become who you really are, you may have found your life path was not easily accessible. That is simply because your true and natural self was covered by layers of shame from the early conditioning that you had to be other than you are in order to win love or be acceptable. And that's that same belief that's come to the journey itself, to the spiritual journey, to the healing journey, to the twin flame journey, to the manifestation journey. That is the same belief that still runs rampant in all of these journeys. We have to be other than what we are in order to receive, and that's not the case. We simply must remember who we are. Your natural self hasn't gone anywhere. It is still there within you. Now it is about chipping away at the walls of shame, perhaps with a defiant, who the hell cares? I am here and I'm going to love myself anyway, because you deserve that. This allows you to risk bearing the feelings of any shame that arise as you release, right? Shame and blame. As you release old emotional wounds and break away from any restraints to unconditional self-love. The sacred rebel within can empower you to love yourself no matter what, simply because you want to. You might decide to declare, I am still lovable, so put that in your pipe and smoke it. This will send an energetic message to whomever shamed you in the first place, whether they meant to or not. Your message could be going to a parent, school teacher, sibling, friend, lover, or anyone else that was struggling enough with their own shame wound that they couldn't help but dump it onto you. You can be free to realize that the shame is just an emotion, not a truth, and you can defy any hold it has ever had on you or your ability to love yourself. This oracle brings you the guidance that you are now powerful enough to break this cycle. It is time to stop the shame and claim yourself in love instead. Drop your defenses, get into the grit, and confront the power that any old shaming has had over you. It's finished now. It's time for you to be naked with yourself. Acknowledge how gorgeous you are and get on with your work. Life is urging you to do so because the work wants to happen. Whatever you want to create wants to be created. The world wants to be written. You just need to let go of any remnants of the past that have been in your way and step firmly over them and onto your path. Look, it says, say aloud. I'm gonna show this to you. You can pause this and read the whole thing if you want. This is the healing process. But I want to read this first line. It says, I now choose to forgive and release any person, situation, or circumstance that has ever been a source of shame or shaming for me, whether conscious or unconscious. And we went into the cards here and we got all yellow cards, and the last one to come through was forgiveness. Right? So this is about you coming into a state of letting go of the chains that have held you to a certain way of being for so long, because this is how everybody else has done it. This is you becoming the sacred rebel and truly fighting back by choosing to stand out and be your authentic self. Okay? You're doing a great job, Pile 2, and you are enough right now. Right now you are enough. You simply must remember who you are. And that might sound difficult. And maybe in some cases it is, but the steps to getting there will always be simple. So this is what I see here for you. If you felt like this was your reading, leave a little butterfly emoji down below and say, I write my existence into being, and I choose to wake up and remember who I am. And if it resonated, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you're interested in supporting the channel further, check out the description box. It'll have everything you need. And with that, I would like to take this moment to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this very powerful message. And until next time, Pile number 2, stay human. Bye. Hello, my fellow human. If you were drawn to this dice with the 7th house on it, if you were called to this moonstone, or if perhaps during the shuffle you resonated with this card, this is going to be your pick a card reading. First, I would like to say thank you to anyone and everyone that continues to be a supportive part of this journey. I'm truly honored to be sharing this time and this space with you. And if you happen to be new here, welcome. This is that reminder that we're all here sharing this human experience together, and that this is a safe space to show up as your highest, most aligned, loving, authentic selves. And we do things completely differently here on this channel. So that being said, if the message does happen to resonate with you, it would mean so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. So We're going to go ahead and get into it. First, I would like to say, though, is that I don't have a direct question coming into this reading. This is literally going to be whatever source wants to bring through. So I ask from this standpoint that we all come into this reading with an open heart and an open mind, okay? All right, so pile number 3. What is your pick a card reading? Source, what would you like to come through? Pile number 3. What is your pick a card reading? Source, what messages would you like to come through? Okay, so we've got 10th house. We've got Aries energy and we've got Jupiter. You've been working really hard on something to gather knowledge, skill, wisdom, mastery over something in your life. This could be the healing journey, but it is something related to the 10th house. So that's something that is career oriented. But again, it could absolutely be the healing journey. Do you need this move though? But it's something that you've definitely stepped up in your life, right? With Aries energy, you've definitely taken it into your hands and you've made it your own and you're showing up like a boss. And you're putting forth your best effort. And we see that this is a place of expansion for you. This is where you're expanding consciousness, spiritually, mentally, emotionally. There's a lot of growth for you when regards to this place that you're putting so much effort into. And it does feel like this could have to do with your fortune, your fame, your recognition, promotion, leadership. But it feels like this is something that you're wondering at times, like, is this even worth all the effort that I'm putting in? And regardless of the outcome, pile 3, it is worth it. Okay, regardless if you get exactly what you want, if you don't get exactly what you want, it is worth it because you're learning skills that are precious to the journey for you. And mastery in and of itself is no easy feat, right? Like they say, if you spend a half an hour every day for 5 years, you become a master at something. So imagine how long have you spent at this thing? So if you've already mastered it, now you're honing that mastery. Right? So that is worth it. And that skill set is not something that is just going to go away. It's something that others somewhere along the way, regardless if it's the position you're in or the place that you're in, are taking that into accountability. If they don't, someone else will. Someone else will appreciate that and see it for what it is. And that's why, even if it's a struggle to get to where you're at, always remembering that I'm learning valuable skills that help me along my journey. And especially if it's mastering something, whatever that is, that's valuable. That adds to your value, even though it's not who you are or your intrinsic value, but it adds to your value of what you can bring to the table. And knowing what you bring to the table is another good thing here. With this energy, it's like reminding you always to see yourself as, I have a lot to offer. And sometimes that's hard. Sometimes it's hard to see yourself as having a lot to offer, especially if you've had struggles in regards to work. We're focusing on work with this reading because that's the energy that's coming through. Focusing on, like things with coworkers, things with bosses, even having issues with the father wound. It's like feeling like I'm not worthy or I'm not valuable enough to attain the type of position or career or business that I want to. But that's just the illusion. Even if that has been the situation up until now, that does not mean it will always be the situation. And that means that we have to be willing to let go of the belief that that's how it will always be and open up to being curious about the journey ahead. Easier said than done, but it is possible, especially with this combination of dice and with Aries being at the center here. You're given an opportunity to instigate a new belief system, which brings in a new beginning for yourself. So definitely a powerful energy already off the bat, but let's get some cards out and see what comes through with the cards. And even though we've got super positive energy with the dice, I do just want to mention that what could potentially come through, like Source could be touching on topics that might bring up triggering information. So I just want to point that out as we get into this, okay? All right, so your pick a card reading, pile 3. Your pick a card reading, source. What would you like to tell pile 3? Your pick a card reading. What would you like to come through? Yeah, definitely feeling this very earthy, physical, monetary. This is what you do to earn money, and finding the balance between the active and the inactive. So the active and the receptive, and the holy affirming. So the holy affirming is what's going on behind the scenes that we don't see, and that can be really hard to trust in. Pile number 3, your pick a card reading. Do you guys hear any noise in the background? I have my Instapot going. I'm making carnitas for dinner. I'm really excited. So it's a carnitas type of night. But yeah, so it's going. Anyways, maybe you're having tacos for dinner. Maybe that's what you've been thinking about. This is your sign that, yes, you should go get some tacos. Tacos are the best. Pile number 3. What is your pick a card reading? Thank you, source. Pile number 3. Your pick a card reading. Wow, look, cards already flying out. Pile number 3. Your pick a card reading. And I had to start it. I had to start them after I did pile 1 and 2 because I was so tired. I'd been sitting down for like an hour and a half. I was like, I gotta go. I gotta go walk around for a little bit. So I'm freshy fresh coming back to your reading, pile 3. All right. So we got the 5 of Swords in the reverse. Interesting. And we've got 5 of Coins on the bottom in the reverse too. And the 5 of Coins just talks about there's big changes that are coming. Big switches up. And with it being the coins, we see that's a big change in the physical world. Right? But right now, what's overwhelming us is that negative energy that has been there, like the doubt, the self-criticism, worry that I'm not ever going to get what I want, or I'm not good enough to receive what I want. This could also be pressure from outside sources, like making you feel guilty or putting it on you, like you're never going to succeed. Why do you keep putting into this? Like, if you haven't succeeded by now, what makes you think you're going to succeed? So this could be outside voices, third-party voices that are affecting you as well. But with it in the reverse, we see this is very negative, right? This is incredibly negative, and it is affecting how you think about the things that are in your life. Yeah, woof, yeah, all in the thoughts, all in the mind. Oh, wow, all in the minds here. We have Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini out on the table. This is all in your head, pile 3. And that might seem frustrating for someone to say that, right? What do you mean it's all in my head? This feels so real. Yeah, because what we feel and what's going on in our mind is our reality. As a man thinketh, so a man shall be. And there's a book that's called that, As a Man Thinketh. It's by James Allen. You should check it out. It's a super small book. It's like 98 pages. And it was written way back in I think in like the 30s or the 40s. It's so worth it. And you might be like, well, it's outdated. No, it's actually very relevant to this energy. But this is something, there's a lot going on. Like, you're fighting something or you're resisting something here. There's a lot of arguments. There's a lot of upset that's going on. This could be what you want to do for your money. There's this feeling that other people are making it seem like what you want to get into it's not your right to do. And that's absurd. It's your life. At the end of the day, it's your life. It doesn't make it any less pressuring, right? It's a very pressuring situation. But it's interesting that the 4 of Swords and the 5 of Swords came out both reversed here next to each other. And these cards talk about negativity from other people and peer pressure from other people and putting you into a situation where you feel hemmed in. It's almost like you're questioning whether or not you should keep moving forward because there's a situation at hand here where it's like I have to make a decision. I either go back to the regular 9-to-5 job, or it's like maybe you're trying to make it get with Jupiter, you could be going to school to earn credits to do something differently. So maybe you're trying to become a nurse, or you're trying to become a teacher, or you're trying to become a business major or something along those lines. It could be anything, right? It could be a trade school where you're learning HVAC, or you're learning plumbing, electricity, something with your hands. This could be you going in for school for automotive, for construction work, or whatever it is. But it feels like you're learning, right? Again, we're talking about mastery here. You're learning something, and it's taken longer than what maybe you had told people initially, or you never gave people a time and they just had a time in their mind. Well, if pile 3 doesn't experience success by such and such date, then, you know, well, we could just use today's date, right? November of 2025. If they don't experience success by November of 2025, then they're never going to have success. But that's their problem. That's not your problem. And maybe you put it on yourself that, like, you know, I'm going to give myself 5 years, and in 5 years I'm going to see where I'm at, and you're at the 5-year mark. Maybe you are at the 5-year mark and you're like, but I can't just let this go because it still feels like I'm supposed to be doing this. But you have all this negative energy around you where people are making you doubt yourself, or where you're doubting yourself because of what people are saying, right? Because people can't really make us feel any one way. What it is it's a mirror to something that we already feel within ourselves. And trust me, I know, I've been there. Like, sometimes people say one thing and they're like, oh my gosh, you're so weird. And you think you're weird. I've been there. Someone called me weird once and I thought I was weird, and I was triggered for like a week because this person actually had the gall to say it to me. I was like, what the heck is wrong with people? But then I had to sit with it and realize, like, why do I think I'm weird? And why am I not embracing that? You know, and that's the other thing here. It's like, if you're trying to build something or learn something new, it may be unconventional, but can you embrace and accept that it's unconventional? And, you know, why not accept that? Like, why not embrace it as it is, instead of being like, oh, well, it's not what everyone else is doing, so that's cool. That's cool. That gives you credit, okay? That gives you street cred, y'all. Come on. Like, if it's not what everyone else is doing, that just shows that you're brave enough to do something that involves risk. And so many people, especially with the 4 of the Swords in the middle of your reading, the people who are coming at you are people who are adverse to risk. Fortune favors the brave, right? People who are adverse to risk, they're never going to win big in life because they're always going to follow this straight and narrow that's a very confining path. But you're doing that, right? And the change comes with how you see yourself, but it's also how you treat yourself. With the Queen of Cups here on the bottom, it's how you treat yourself. Maybe you haven't received what you've put into it yet, but that doesn't mean it's not coming. This could be family that's treating you this way too. And family that's like scared that you're going to make it and leave them behind. Family that believes that it can only be one way. And if you show them it can be another way, then that makes them feel insecure. And so they're projecting those insecurities out on you. Like, what if pile 3 has it right and they could make money doing something that involves less work? You know, like our parents. Think about our parents, right? They come from the generation like work hard, play hard, but you have to work hard to work harder in order to even play kind of hard, right? That's the mentality, especially like, you know, the boomers and Gen Z and I don't know who's before the boomers, but that was my parents, the boomers and Gen Z. So, you know, like, is that right? No, Gen X. Is it Gen X? Yeah, Gen X. My bad. Gen X. But, you know, like, you think about it, it's like they're in the mentality where it's like they had to work really hard. And you had the boomers that were able to live life comfortably on one salary. But then their kids, it started to get really difficult for them to have one salary to even survive and have kids and have a family and buy a house. And so you might find a lot of people from the boomers' kids where they were just renting homes, and the boomers are like, why aren't you buying a home? And it's like, because I can't afford it, right? And so you have this old mentality, this old expectation. Well, I did, why can't you? So they're basing it on an old experience, right? They're basing it on their experience, and their experience is not going to be our experience. In fact, our day-to-day experiences are different. So we can never truly compare what we're experiencing in this moment to what has happened to us before, even though that is the general consensus. This is what we do. Oh, this mirrors me. This reminds me of a triggering situation, so I must be triggered when this comes up. But is that really the truth? Or is this mirroring something that happened that gives us an opportunity to look at what it is that's keeping us in a place of lack and potentially poverty, right? So rather than trying to compare your journey to everybody that's telling you you're wrong, why not just look at your journey as the unique path and the unorthodox place that you've decided to take up in this space and time at this moment? You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to show up the way that everyone else does. We see here, though, that there's been a lot of arguments here with the 10 of Swords. This is like someone who's negative meeting your positivity as an equal match. There's like almost like a doppelganger in a way. Like you're going to be fighting your perfect match on the opposite end of the spectrum. But this could also be fighting yourself, right? Like it doesn't have to be fighting an actual physical person. This could be fighting yourself. And fighting those old beliefs and that negativity that's from old trauma, from old wounds, trying to convince you to keep you small. Because if we're small, we're safe. We're not experiencing these hurts, these pains anymore. But that's just not the way of our journey. We're always trying to let ourselves be more connected to our authentic internal selves, our authentic internal soul. And through that, we have to be brave enough to overcome those thought processes that are keeping us in repeat cycles of negativity. This is really negative energy. And it's not that you're a negative person. So like if this is your mind, right, we're tapping into your mind, because it does feel like this is what's going on. This is a byproduct of what's happening in the physical realm right now, especially the 5 of coins on the bottom. This is a byproduct of whatever's going on around you is triggering all this internally within your mind. So this is the monkey mind having its way and just running around and creating drama and noise and this, that, and the other. And it feels real. Why? Because our emotions are attached to that, and we're feeling our emotions at any one given moment. We're thinking, oh, it's our physical reality that is creating this chaos in my life. But actually, the physical reality is mirroring the internal chaos that is we're having difficulty sitting with and just being present with. Right? There's really nothing you need to do except be present with when those situations arise. Like if you're feeling anxious, can you be present with that anxiety? If you're feeling anger, can you be present with that anger? If you're feeling sadness, can you be present with that sadness? You know, it's like it's this energy where I'm not trying to run away from it. I'm not even trying to justify it, right? I'm not trying to say, oh, it's because of this or it's because of that. I'm not trying to find a why. I'm just trying to be with it. And that's what's happening right now is this feeling where it's like you've mastered something, but things aren't turning out the way that maybe you expected or someone else had an expectation of. And now the anxiety and the mental mind is just running crazy right now, trying to convince you that it's not worth it, trying to say like everybody's right, what they think is right. Like you haven't made it big yet. So what makes you think it's going to happen now? Well, we don't know what happens tomorrow. Tomorrow's a mystery. Yesterday is the past, tomorrow's a mystery, and today is the present. That's why they call it the gift. Or it's the gift, that's why they call it the present. You know, we've all heard that. We don't know what's coming tomorrow. Tomorrow could bring us all fame and fortune. Tomorrow could equally make us all poor and impoverished. Tomorrow could be the end of the world. It could also be the beginning of something that we never even imagined. We're so busy worrying about it and then also trying to project the past circumstances on that, past situations onto that we're never truly here in this moment. So this is literally sort of saying like you're in your mind right now. This is going down the rabbit hole. This could be overthinking. This could be replaying situations over and over again. And instead of doing that, stop and be present with what's arising in you right now. What is that? What is that? What are you feeling right now? What are you feeling? You're feeling uncomfortable? Are you feeling disconnected? Are you feeling angry? Are you feeling like, holy crap, I'm not good enough? Like, what is it? Sit with it. Don't give it a reason. It's just a passing cloud. When you give it, you know, and it's okay. Like I've talked about this before, you know, there's times to search for a reason. There is, absolutely, especially on the healing journey. There's times to search for reasons. There's times to peel back the layers and understand where the initial wound came from, of course. But this is more than that. This is something that is in this moment. It's as soon as the mind gets going and it gets riled up, and then the emotions. It's like when you think about something that happened, say you had a conversation with someone last week. and you said something and you're like, man, why did I say that? You walk away and you're like, why the heck did I say that? Like, I could have said this. I could have said this. I could have done this. I could have been over here. I could have responded in this way. And then you start coming up with all these imaginary stories about what you could have done. But that's not what happened. You said what you said. That's it. It's over with. But the monkey mind starts to overanalyze and overthink this, and it's trying, and then after you're thinking about it, then you're trying to imagine how situations would have played out if you had done one of these things. So now we're going even a step further into something that's never gonna happen, but we're still doing it, right? So it's like, say you found the person that you like and you said something that was so silly and so stupid, right? Because you were nervous and you were just having a human moment. You're like, oh my God, I said the stupidest thing to them. Like, why did I say that? I should have been cool and suave, because if I was cool and suave, then they would have responded to me like this. And if they had said this, then I would have said that. And if I had said this, they would have said this. And we end up going down this road, and it's literally a fairy tale, because that's never going to happen. Never. It will never happen. And that's what this feels like. It feels like the mind is just like, well, but we could have done this, and then this would, and then we could have done this, and this, and this, and then by the time it's like an hour and a half has gone by, and you're like, holy crap, I am so filled with anxiety, and I'm emotionally exhausted, and I'm worn out, and why do I even put forth the effort towards this? Look, I've been there. This is not, you're not weird. This is not a weird thing. This is a very human thing. This energy is very human. But if you don't stop and pause and be present with it and just observe it, like, okay, wow, I'm really feeling anxious about what I said. And then maybe asking yourself, can I change it? You know the answer is going to be no, but maybe just saying that to yourself, well, I can't go back and change it, so it is what it is. And it was exactly what it was meant to be at that moment. There's nothing I could do. So instead of trying to imagine how things would have turned out if I had shown up differently, you're just giving it the name it needs to, which is, it was exactly what it was, and it will always be what it was, because we don't have a time machine. We don't. But for some reason, that's how our mind lives. It's just always trying to take us back in time, and, you know, back in time. But it's not like that. We're no Back to the Future here. It's just not going to happen that way. We got Square flying out of the deck. A challenging situation, a mountain to climb. So this is a challenge for you. The mind, and not taking what everyone's saying as though it's a reflection on you. Remember, that's a reflection on them, how they choose to show up. So if people are telling you that what you wanting to do, if they're saying things like, example here, this is not the truth, okay, but this might be what you're going through. This is just an example. If they're saying like, oh, it's stupid, oh, you'll always be poor and broke, or, oh, it's crazy, you would never, you would never see me do that. Remember, that's true. I would never see you do that, because you would never do this. Because you're too busy trying to stay in the straight and narrow. But what is the straight and narrow if not confining? And that's what this feels like. And so it is a challenge. It's a challenge for you to do something different than what you've seen everybody in your life do. You're making your own path. You're the one cutting down the jungle. They aren't. That takes a lot of work. Yeah, a conjunction, a union, a merging, a coming together. Right? You're coming back to yourself. That's what this is. It's a union with self. It's like you're learning how to reconnect with what it is that you truly want in life. And that is the challenge, to let go of what everyone else expects of us. This is coming into the question of, what do I expect from myself? We don't ask that question on the journey very often, because we're too busy saying, oh, well, mom expects this, dad expects that, grandma and grandpa expect this, my friends expect that. And then when people say, well, what do you expect? You're like, or the answer is, well, to impress everybody. But you can't. Not everyone's going to like you. Can you be okay with that? Not everyone's going to be happy for you doing something that's your own thing. Can you be okay with that? Ultimately, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Because here's the thing, and I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again. That's that energy, damned if you do, damned if you don't, pile 3. Here's the thing, it's like, if you choose to follow the straight and narrow, like they want you to, say 30 years goes by and you retire, you're completely miserable. You're like, your biggest regret is why you didn't take the opportunity, the risk when you had it, right? So you voice that at that point, because in 30 years, you're going to be a totally different person, and you're going to have some courage to say things that you never had the courage to say when you were younger. And so in 30 years, you tell him, you're like, look, you know, I followed this straight and narrow path. I even retired from it because you said this is the only way to live life, and I'm absolutely miserable. Those same people who had the opinion, you know what they're going to say? It wasn't my life. I didn't make you follow it. That was your choice. You could have done whatever you wanted. So again, no matter what you do, someone is going to have an opinion about it. But, you know, my grandpa always told me when I was little, opinions are like buttholes. Everyone's got one, and nobody gives a crap. Okay? So, like, at the end of the day, we just have to look at it that way. Because if we're trying to follow everybody else and their mom's opinion, we're never going to get somewhere. We're always going to be stuck in their version of reality. And that doesn't mean that that's our version of reality. Emptied. The ending and the beginning lie at either side of the same door. Exactly. So what side are you going to choose? All you have to do is open it up and go through. That's it. Be brave and open it up and go through. And the thing is that what's strange about this coming up, this is really telling, because the thing is this is coming up after you've already spent so much time and energy at it. So these thoughts are coming up after you've put so much effort towards this. So these thoughts are persistent, but these thoughts are also keeping you from realizing your full potential right now. I love this. Watch doors of opportunity swing open with solar eclipse coming out right after emptied. The ending and beginning are at either side of the door. Watch doors of opportunity swing open. Void of course moot. Ask again later. So you may have come into this reading with another question on your mind to get answered, and this is the answer that's coming through, and it's like, well, what the heck? I wanted to get this answered. So there's this saying, that's not what's important right now. What's important is focusing on this. That's why I said at the beginning, come into this with an open heart and an open mind, because we're never going to get the answers we expect. We're always going to get the answers we need. And sometimes that's hard because the answers we need aren't always going to be these light, fluffy, positive, beautiful, rainbowy type answers. Sometimes they're very blunt and direct. But this is a mind thing. This is within your mind. This is the only thing. And I can't control your mind. Those people who are saying what they're saying, they can't control your mind. You are in charge of your mind. You have to take accountability for the things that your mind likes to put in your head. But first, it's about becoming aware of those. Yeah, we have happiness. I'm aware that being happy means I'm on the right path. So whatever it is that you're doing is bringing some sense of happiness to you. And I feel like that's just it. It's like you may have given yourself a time frame. Well, in 5 years, if I'm not successful in 5 years, then I'm just going to leave it behind. But you still can't leave it alone because you like it. Why would you leave it if you still like it so much? Give yourself some more time. Your 5 years could be 10 years. Okay, cool. It doesn't mean it has to be, because the journey is not linear. It's not. It's never a straight line. Never. So who knows? Maybe your 5 year was 6 years. Who knows? Maybe your 5 years was 5 years in a day. Who knows? You know? Friendship. I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason. So this could be a friend that's been putting negativity in your head. This could also be a friend that's coming in to help you embrace your happiness. Realizing that this is something you're meant to be doing. Don't stop. Fog. Yeah, this is all in the mind. Fog, veiled. Like right now, it's hard for you to see the truth because there's so much noise. There's so much going on. There's so much that's happening. And this is about letting yourself sit in the stillness for a moment. Again, we're not trying to find a reason. We're not trying to even really label it. We're just trying to be with what's happening. To release it. Autumn equinox, yeah. To release, to let go. You don't have to tell the trees that it's time to let go of their leaves. And you know, that's the other thing too. If you're in a state where you have all of the seasons, where you have trees that turn colors, like I grew up in Colorado, so we had all 4 seasons. So, and I know states have that. You know, I've been to Arizona, I've been to Texas, I've been to Florida, I've been to the warmer states, okay? Especially at some of the lower East Coast states, they don't have the seasons like that, but you've seen the seasons on TV. And the thing is that when the trees turn, they don't all just suddenly turn all at the same time. Like, in fact, where I'm at right now, the trees are turning and they're finally starting to turn, and it's late, right? We're in November. And when I was here before, they turned in October. And I was like, are the trees just never going to turn? Like, what the heck is going on? Well, in the last week, they went from being green to now they're starting to change colors. And some of the trees here are still bright green. So it just goes to show you that every tree is on its own journey, just like every person is on their own journey. Like, just because you're not changing the same as everyone else doesn't mean that you're doing something wrong. It doesn't mean you're in the wrong place. It doesn't mean you're doing the wrong thing, right? Are you happy? Are you happy doing what you're doing? No, there you go. That's a sign that you're on the right path. But to being open to where it's going to lead you. Look, let spirit be your guide with Hawk Spirit here. There's something that Source is leading you to that is meaningful for you. Can you have faith and trust in that? And look, if you didn't catch it at the beginning, you might benefit from listening to both the prayer and the collective reading. They're both timestamped in the description box below. Because there's a huge confirmation with that as well, like having that trust. It came through in both of those, in the prayer and in the collective reading. Having that trust that things are going to work out, even if we can't see it. What is your reading? Thank you. Pile number 3. On the bottom. I can't with this. What? We have trust your instincts with animal guardians. What? Thank you so... This whole reading has been like this whole time. Like, just card after card after card confirming what the energy is coming in. Crazy. I love it. I love it so much. This is why I love doing what I do. I love it. Trust your instincts. Yeah, this is about trusting your instincts. It's like I said, it's like if you're over here, you're like, well, if my 5 years is up, but I still feel called to this. Keep going. Keep going. Why are you putting a time limit on yourself? That doesn't seem very fair. And that's the other thing too, like with the friendship card. Would you put a time limit on a friend? Like if a friend really loved what they were doing, they said in 5 years, if I'm not successful, then I'm going to stop. And at the 5-year mark, you sit down as a friend and you're like, hey, so how are things going? And they're like, oh, well, I still love what I do, but I'm just not where I thought I would be. You know, but I don't want to leave it, but I know I said this 5-year deal. Like, if you were a real friend, wouldn't you be like, hey, that's cool. You should just keep doing it. Like, if you love what you're doing, who cares if you're not at where you wanted to be at? Like, a friend would say something like that to us, right? And we would say that to a friend, but why are we not saying that to ourselves? And that's the question here. Why are you not being like that for yourself? Why are you holding yourself up to an unobtainable standard? Yeah, bully. Okay, so we have highlights your tendency to intimidate others, helps you confront the inner fears that bully you. So we're talking about those inner fears that have become a bully to you right now. The shadows conceals deep fears behind verbal or physical abuse. Now, you could have dealt with a lot of bullies, and that's why you're doing this to yourself. It's like they've taken on the voice of the bullies in your life, right? So it's just being aware of that and allowing yourself to let that go and realize these are not truths. This is not my truth. Somebody else's truth is not my truth. And it doesn't mean that everybody's truth isn't your truth. It just means that if you don't resonate with it, that's fine. That's okay. Right? Growth. Yeah, we've been talking about that. This is all about growth. You're growing. You're expanding. So this is you seeing something that you weren't able to see before because it was hidden from you. And now you're growing and you're seeing a different side of it, which makes it challenging because it's like, oh, I felt like I did that already. Look, we've got Wisdom Cube flying out of this deck. Truth at a turn. says soon to face a choice regard it as solving, let me try that again. Regard it as solving a multifaceted cube. Explore from all angles to unveil the right path. Seeing it from a new angle. Furry charm. It says their innocent spirits shield you from misfortune. Draw near to them. Luck clings to their fur. So spending time with your animals, that's going to help you as well. If you have animals, or spending time outside in nature, that's going to help you as well. That's also going to, I feel like that's going to give you wisdom that you need right now. Okay, I feel like I want to get 2 more of these. Okay. We have sleep or stumble. Without sufficient rest, you might falter at the next critical junction. Choose sleep, sidestep regret. So making sure you're getting enough sleep as well. And you may receive dreams that'll help you overcome some of these anxieties and fears, you know, but if you're not giving yourself adequate time to sleep, it's hard for us to receive those messages in our dreams because our mind isn't able to process what we're feeling, what we're experiencing, what's going on. We have inner connection. Listen to your inner voice in decision making and daily interactions. Again, trust your intuition, trust your instincts. We were talking about the prayer and the collective message, talking about trust. Massive energy about trusting here. So massive. Trusting the process as well. Okay. Wow. Trusting I can't. I'm done. Can we just turn it off now? That's it. What more do you need, pile 3? What more do you need? We have trusting tricksters. The trickster's only power is your trust. You are always free to withdraw it. Right? You don't have to trust people who don't believe in you. That's it. They don't believe in themselves. That doesn't mean that you have to go down to their level. Home. Be at home. Wombat spirit. Coming back to yourself. That's what this feels like with the wombat spirit. Coming back to a sense of self. Look at that. Protection guardian. Drop your shields. Okay, this is like fighting the fight. I'm going to battle every day to fight this fight because I feel like I have to. But you don't. You just have to protect yourself. You don't have to stand up for yourself. You don't have to defend yourself. You don't have to explain yourself. You just have to protect your energy and say, you know what? I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing because it matters to me. I don't care if it matters to you. Oh, wow. So we have the father energy here. Talent for creating and supporting life. Positive guiding light within a tribal unit. And the shadow is dictatorial control and abuse of authority. So this could be the father wound that's coming out. Or this could be, again, we've said family. I think I felt family. Yeah. Family was coming in here where they could be very dictatorial over you. They want control. They may have abused their authority at some point, or like there's this expectation that you listen to what I say, and you know, like no matter how old you get, you have to do what I say because I'm your father, and it's about respecting your elders. And it's like, look, when I was a kid, maybe I had to respect you because that was the name of the game, but when I got older, I realized respect is earned, and if you don't earn it, that doesn't mean that you're rightfully entitled to it, right? So again, understanding that difference there. Determination. Yeah, look, a mountain to climb. We have this mountain on this determination. You're determined. We saw that with the 10th house too. You're very determined. So keep going. If you want to do it, there's no one stopping you or preventing you from doing it except for you, pile 3. It doesn't matter what everybody else says. And I can say that until I'm blue in the face, but until you choose to accept that, that's when it begins to matter, is when you choose to accept that. But maybe you just needed to hear it from somebody. That might be why I keep saying it. It's like, it doesn't matter what they think, because it doesn't. So maybe you needed to hear it. Maybe you just need someone to tell you that, like, oh, it really doesn't, just so that you could reiterate that with yourself. Like, I'm not going to worry about what they think. It's what I want to do. And if it's what you want to do, pile number 3, it has merit. Okay? Veiled paths. Look, again, with the fog energy. This came out with the fog. Veiled. A hidden path in the secret garden offers a shortcut. Will you choose bravery or safety? Choose the path less traveled. Wow. Didn't I say that at the beginning? Like, you're cutting your own path through the jungle, and that's not easy? I think I said that at the beginning of your reading. I'm pretty sure I did. So, you know, it's like Source being very clear, you know, finding your happiness means you're on the right path. The veiled with the fog energy right here, choosing the path that's less traveled. Okay, so we have a lot of energy here about trusting the path. trusting the path, trusting the journey. Decision time. Faced with an upcoming career choice, guide your decisions with facts and data rather than emotions. Analyze objectively. Okay, so that's the other thing here too. It's like if you're making a decision to stop based on your emotions, are you doing the right thing for you? Or are you allowing circumstances to dictate how you show up? Please don't beat yourself up if it's been like that, right? That's just, right now, it's just becoming aware of how you're reacting or responding to the things that are going on outside of you, right? The physical world is playing a part in this, but is it because the physical world has a part in it, or is it because you're giving the physical world a leading role in your story? And so when you stop and think about it like that, you're like, oh, okay, look, I don't have to do that. I don't have to give the physical world a leading role in my story because I'm the lead role. I'm the MC. I'm the hero. I'm the heroine. Whatever it is that you identify with, it doesn't matter. As long as you see it that you're the main character here, right? This situation isn't. This person is not. The situation is the main character in the situation's situation. If we could say that 3 times fast. This person is the main character in their life. They got their stuff to deal with. But equally so, it means that none of that is your business and you have to deal with your business, which is you. All right, so we're going to take a look at your card. I'm going to read this from the book for you. We're going to see what it says. Wow, we've got the Sacred Fool coming out here. This is my favorite card in the deck. I love this card so much, but it's like this energy. There's someone here who wants to play you like a puppet, like a marionette, and you're not a marionette, right? So are you going to choose to pick it up and control it yourself? Or are you going to let someone else control that? And that's a very powerful question to ask yourself. And I'm going to leave this down here while I read. All right, so Sacred Fool. It says, the fool is the great rebel, able to thwart convention. Exactly. We've been talking about that. It's unconventional what you're doing. And tell the truth without restraint. Your heart is a wonderful, powerful, sacred fool. It cares not for the right way to do things. It cares not for what the mind says is real and not real. It lives according to an inner wisdom that cannot be dictated or controlled by anything. Look, isn't that interesting? This card says dictated or controlled, and we got the Father, which is dictatorial control and abuse of authority. That's, wow. It loves, it lives, and it is what it is. The Oracle heralds a time now or imminent when you will feel inspired, alive, and passionate for what you can offer the world. It says to you, don't try to be appropriate. Don't try to be socially accepted. And don't worry about what others may think about what you are doing. Just be. If you want to wear a mad hat whilst doing so, fine. The Sacred Fool in you is willing to leave behind what has been because it no longer feels right to stay attached to it. The Sacred Fool in you trusts life completely. It would never occur to this part of you to try and outsmart life or resist its flow. It recognizes that the mind is a monkey puppet on strings, not the one that's in control, okay? That's what we've been talking about. More often than not, it is cajoled into fear when it can be playfully dwelling in a radical spontaneity of life. So, the Sacred Fool in you urges your mind to let itself be pulled into the joy by your heart strings, not into fear and doubt by the controlling machines of the mass media. This oracle brings you a message. It's time for you to play. It's time for you to let life happen in a completely unreserved, unscripted way. The more bizarre, left of field, unexpected, and apparently ridiculous, the better. This might not feel safe or appropriate at first. That's okay. That is good, actually. It is a sign that you are breaking with your own self-imposed conventions. It is time to move beyond them now because a bigger life of adventure is calling you. This is wonderful news. It is the desire of life to operate more radically through you so that you become the conduit through which miracles and crazy wild synchronicity can occur. You're becoming more electric. You are more plugged into the apparent randomness of life, apparently because there is a refined intelligence behind it all. The Sacred Fool goes with this, without having to understand any of it, which is good. Trying to access even one genuine glimpse of life's unfathomable genius would probably make one's head explode. As you take this journey, you may find that people around you are challenged. You might unintentionally cause them to rethink the way they live their lives. They may question whether the way they are living is the only way for them or even the best way. At first, they may react rather than take responsibility. The sacred fool in you doesn't engage with this. It is what it is, and it rises and falls as it will. It doesn't stop you from your merry dance of unconventional being. If you find yourself making choices that have others questioning your sanity, then you are on the right course. You may feel that you are quite possibly going insane, but you are not crazy. You are just approaching enlightened awareness. There's a moment, sometimes a rather long one, when we wake up to life, shed our attachment to mass opinion, and float in a completely different state of being. We might find that no one is really able to understand or connect with us, to the point that we question our state of mind. Stay with that. It will pass. You will eventually see that you're becoming sane in an insane world. The tables will turn, and you will gain greater inner freedom and creative juice. Stay on your path. Stay on the journey. Remember to take nothing too seriously, and it will all work out perfectly. Oh, I love this message for you. What a beautiful card to sum up everything that happened in this reading. You're being called to be the sacred fool. And that can be challenging because it means letting go of everything that once was and that we built ourselves on. But you're already on that path. Don't give up. Just keep moving forward for yourself. Okay? So this is what I see here for you today. If you felt like this was your pile number 3, leave the little, there's a joker card emoji. Leave the little joker card emoji down below and say, I choose to step into the unconventional sacred fool. And I let myself be driven by the wild desires that are in my heart. And if it resonated with you, it means so much to me if you were to like, comment, and subscribe below. And if you're interested in supporting the channel further, check out the description box. It'll have everything that you need. With that, I want to take a moment to thank your guides, your spirit messengers, your angel source, and my spirit guides for coming together to give us this truly powerful message today. And until next time, pile number 3, stay human. Bye.